CEBL finals?
Never. Didn't even think I'd be back in the CEBL, man, but I'm grateful for the opportunity, man. I'm taking advantage of every moment.
Stay together, take it one game at a time, one possession at a time, and we're just trying to win the whole thing.
Stop and go, twists in the paint, lays it in.
Flowers absolutely throws it down.
McGowan moves in and throws it down.
Watch your head.
Tyrese Hunter taking him out. Osborne to end it. Osborne hits it. Sea Bears going to the final.
Roddy Peters Jr. in traffic and the finish.
I love this city and just the way the city's rallied around the Sea Bears all summer, the last couple of years.
It's the CEBL final one and done. One of the best phrases in sport, winner takes all, and they are hungry for a championship in Winnipeg in one of the best atmospheres in the CEBL. That man has won 2 championships. Can he make it 3 today and bring the Sea Bears their first ever? But standing in the way is maybe the hottest player in the league right now, Sean East, who won the East for Brampton, is looking to win it all today. Come on in to our CBC studios for the CEBL Championship. I'm Donovan Bennett, joined by Tamika Nurse, Javon Shepard, and we, like Buju Banton, will try to walk and talk like a champion and crown a champion today. And if you're watching this thinking, wait, I thought the CEBL went to a best-of-3 series. Well, you're not wrong, but we had a change of plans because on Wednesday, in what was Game 1, had some issues with the floor conversations by the players with condensation on it, made the players literally on skates when they were trying to guard, which is not ideal. So the right decision ultimately was made to first postpone and delay and then cancel Game 1 and make Game 2 a winner-take-all from Winnipeg. Unfortunate outcome certainly for all the fans who were there, many of which came from Winnipeg, but the unintended consequence of having that game canceled is the stakes today are high in one of the most anticipated games in CEBL history. I feel for those fans who had the tickets refunded but didn't have those flights refunded. Yeah. But my next thought was to the players. You all are creatures of habit. How does this change your process and mentality?
Well, it absolutely does. When you think you have 3 games to win a championship and it comes down to 1 game, like that for sure changes your mentality a little bit. But these are pros. And the benefit of playing in professional sports is that you want to play in those big moments. So it's one and done. There's a little bit more pressure on this one single game. But if I'm a player, I want one. I want one. I want to show up. I want to be prepared. I want to have everything in my bag. I got to show up one time and be amazing.
Yeah, I think, it's a pretty unique situation because none of these players are ever going to experience that again, where you go from planning for a 3-game series for a championship to then having 1 game for all the marbles. So I think what we're going to learn here is who's built for it mentally, right? Because, again, if you're in a series, you get to play for a half or 2 and get to warm up into it, get a feel of flow for the series, for the game, for the match. But you don't have that luxury now, right? You turn around and it's like, okay, now we're playing 1 game for everything. So you get to figure out like who's really, between the ears, who's really built for this.
Well, that was the case for them getting to this point, and both teams had a tough road just to get to the finals. Look at Brampton. They had to beat the back-to-back champs in the Niagara River Lions. Winnipeg had to deal with Saskatoon, who finished the year 6-1, then go and face the 1 seed out west in Vancouver. They won both of those. Winnipeg, the higher seed, thus why the game is in Winnipeg, because they have the better regular season record, even though they are both 2 seeds. But the head-to-head lets me know that don't sleep on Brampton. They're not your typical underdog. They swept Winnipeg in the season series 2-0, and Sean East went off against them, combined for 51 points. But when you look at dealing with this Brampton offense now, it's not just the Batman that is Sean East. You've got a real Robin along his side in Trenton Flowers. And that begs the question, as you see him put people on skates when there isn't condensation on the floor. Javon, how do you handle him when you have flowers literally blooming towards the end of this year?
Well, you don't handle him, right? You try and contain him. I think you said it right. He plays with that underdog mentality, and he sets a tone for this team. You think about it, even in what would have been game one of this series, he had 6 points in the opening minutes, right, of the game. So he really sets a tone for this team. He's aggressive, he's tough. But you also know that, Flowers, and we think back to the Eastern Finals, that second half that you've seen from Flowers, it really changed what that team looked like, the trajectory of that team, of this Brampton team. So you know that those two, the strange thing is they've only played 4 games together, right? But there's a really good balance. They're aggressive, they're tough, and they want to win. So you get that from both those guys.
I think when you're trying to win a championship, you need more than one scorer. So to have these two players in your backcourt with the ability to play really well off of each other is what I find really impressive. But down the stretch, Brampton's going to have some front court presence, and Moncrief was great in that game. So I think overall, offensively, they've got a lot of tools. They've got a lot of weapons. The combination of these two is going to be very difficult for Winnipeg to handle, but that's the tall task of this single game.
It certainly is. And when you look, they've had a roller coaster season. Out the gate hot, 7-1. Then a speed bump in the middle of the year, 2-10, which included a 5-game losing streak. But that time was when they were missing some guys, including Sean East at NBA Summer League in Vegas. Well, if you use July 25th as the date where you're locking the rosters, they end the season strong, 4-2. So ultimately, the common denominator, because that's a lot of numbers, when Sean East is available, they're really good at basketball. Well, guess what, Honey Badgers fans? He's available tonight. He is with our Joey Slattery, who caught up with him earlier today.
Thank you, Donovan. Sean, last time you were here, it was a franchise record 38-point performance. That was just a couple of weeks ago. How excited are you to be back here tonight with the final or the championship on the line?
Very excited, you know what I'm saying? It's just a testament to what we put the work in this season, just everyday work, honing in on the details each and every day, and we're just ready to play.
Yeah. How was it to regroup after the Game 1 cancellation? I mean, you were off to a hot start with 6 points, but how do you build off that or even put it behind you as you come into this game for a now winner-take-all situation?
We've been facing adversity all season, from, hot starts to people leaving, new people coming, trying to gel everybody together, all types of things that we've endured this season. So it's just another, bump in the road that we had to handle, and we're ready to play today.
Well, thank you so much for your time, and good luck here today.
Thank you.
All right, Donovan.
So East is in the lineup, and speaking of bumps in the road, Winnipeg has had their own. Teddy Allen, not in the lineup, was part of an incident in a nightclub in Winnipeg. Unfortunately, he was hospitalized, needed surgeries, back home resting. Our thoughts and prayers with him. But they have really stepped up in his absence, and the role players have now been stars.
Absolutely. There's no way that you don't want Teddy Allen in your lineup if he's available to you. So I want to preface it by saying, we want Teddy Allen to play in this game. But in his absence, the offense for the CEBL has really kind of adapted. Teddy Allen played a lot of isolation ball, and what you're seeing now is a way more balanced attack, especially with the terms of Burns, Hildebrandt, and Osborne. Hildebrandt's always been kind of like my favorite to kind of watch on the inside for the CEBL. He just gives them such a big interior role, his ability to have size, to rebound. And then Osborne, a versatile two-way player at 6'5". He's very hard to guard on the wing. And those players have really had to step up in Teddy Allen's absence. But that's the nature of the game. You want to have the ability to have those players do that.
Yeah, I think, this team right now has been next man up mentality. And I think for Hildebrandt right now, he's playing some really good basketball. He's going to pose a different type of threat for Brampton with his pick and pop ability. He absolutely torched Vancouver in their last game. And Isaiah Osborne, he's come on at the right time. He couldn't throw a rock into the ocean prior to the playoffs, but in the playoffs, he's been shooting the lights out from the three-point line, 46%, 7 for 15, So both those guys, you talked about the utility pieces for this team, they're playing the best basketball, and you mentioned it. The ball's moving, the ball's rocking, and now you get a more motivated team.
So they don't have their shining star in Teddy Allen. They have some stars in their role, but really it's important. They have a Moon, and Moon is available and is really good. And this is the time of year that they got him for. Finals MVP twice and has won it twice. But look at the shooting percentages. Those numbers, and I had to check them to make sure that they were right, higher than Javon's averages at Michigan.
Of course.
Higher than Tamika's screen time. He is so good in the playoffs. This is what he's built his legacy off of. He's not new to this, he's true to this. He's also with our Joey Slattery.
Thank you, Donovan. Xavier, obviously a bit of a strange way to get through game one, a cancellation. It turns into an all or nothing. How does that change the mindset, if at all, coming into this one?
Obviously, we were preparing for a series, but now with it being one game take all, man, we got to make sure all our eggs are in one basket and we're focused on this one game.
You've been here before. You've won 2 of these in the past with Edmonton. It's been a few years, and going to be 12,000 plus fans here today. How do you draw on that experience in this, and how does it differ?
Just making sure I'm keeping my composure. Like you said, I've been here before, so it's not new territory, and I'm ready for the game.
Is there an air of excitement with the crowd coming in today?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Good luck.
Appreciate you.
Donovan.
Great job. Great job, Joey. And he's got a really good podcast, Joey does, the Target Score podcast. Like, share, subscribe. Xavier Moon was on it, and he asked him, what was the difference between you losing to Vancouver at the end of the year and beating them in the playoffs? And it was travel. They flew in a PJ the second time, which private jets helped. But take a look at their travel and why they needed to make sure they were traveling in style. They go to Vancouver to end the regular season. No, can't get there. Got to go to Edmonton, to Calgary, back to Edmonton on a tarmac for 12 hours trying to get their bags. Then the Vancouver game's postponed. Then back to Winnipeg to play a playoff game. Then back to Vancouver to play in the Western Finals. Then back to Winnipeg to get ready to go east to deal with Shawnees to play 1 minute and 46 seconds of basketball to come back and host the finals. All of that in the span of 2 weeks, over 11,000 kilometers, lots of frequent flyer miles. And during that time, Brampton was chilling at home. They had one essentially road game at the end of the regular season, which was an hour drive on the 401 highway here in Toronto. Is it really advantage Brampton because they have been literally at the crib?
Cute, real cute story. I get it, a ton of travel, but you have one game for a championship, right? Winning is hard, so I think you don't have the luxury of being tired. You don't have the luxury of being fatigued because when that ball tips up, when you get that last buzzer, it is for a trophy, it's for a championship. What I do think is an advantage is there's gonna be more than 12,000 fans in that arena in Winnipeg, right? That's the invisible sixth man on the floor. So, no, I mean, you know, we talk about that travel and the fatigue, but also that's a time for building chemistry, building camaraderie in what you're about to face right now.
He asked a very specific question, and the answer is yes, advantage Brampton. I don't understand.
One game.
Advantage.
One game.
But he asked for the advantage, and the
One
answer
game.
is yes, it is advantage
listen,
to stay in your area and wait and rest and
they
be
don't
at
have the
home
luxury
and
of
eat
that.
good food. It was a very simple question. The answer is the advantage
There's
is
no
yes.
rest tomorrow.
I didn't
Leave it
say
all
that
out there.
They're allowed to have an
one
excuse,
championship.
but
It's for
is there an
championship.
advantage? Yes, Brampton.
You got to deal with us.
This comes from someone who flies at the front of the plane, so maybe
Exit row.
he's not
Exit row.
impacted as well. Listen, these guys have been flying their teams all year to success. A couple rookie coaches in the finals. We catch up with them on their journey after the break. CEBL final. It's gonna be a good one. Welcome back. The news in Winnipeg around the CEBL has been somewhat sweet and sour. Real excitement about the fan support, but some disappointment that an MVP candidate is not playing in the biggest game of the year because of an injury that had nothing to do with basketball. Let's go right down to the ground and understand what's going on in Winnipeg. Joey Slattery, give us an update on all things Sea-Bears right now.
Yeah, thanks, Donovan. When it comes to Teddy Allen, not in this game. He sustained some injuries at an incident that happened at a downtown establishment. 3 security guards have been charged by Winnipeg police. Teddy Allen did put out a statement saying that he has his tests, he's at home recovering, and probably will not be playing until the fall. So, of course, he's not here tonight. The MVP favorite, at least a front runner in this year's MVP race. People love Teddy Allen here in Winnipeg, but that did not stop them from coming here today. Listen, this is the first time the Winnipeg Sea-Bears have played in a CEBL Finals. It's the first Finals game hosted in Winnipeg that involves Winnipeg. So this is a big, big game for Winnipeg that has been a staunch supporter of this team for the last number of years. Now, it also involves another would have been MVP candidate, probably will be a Finals MVP candidate here tonight. That's Xavier Moon, who's in his 3rd CEBL Finals. He's won 2 of those with the Edmonton Stingers. He's hoping to continue that here. He's undefeated in the target score era in the playoffs, and he would love to keep that going and get another championship under his belt. Meanwhile, Sean East II for Brampton, who was an MVP runner-up last year, is now playing in his first CEBL Finals. He was off to a hot start in that game that ended up being canceled on Wednesday in Brampton, and he had a great game here. He had a 38-point, a franchise record for the Honey Badgers when they won that game here in target score time. One that drew a lot of ire of the Winnipeg Sea-Bears, who have lost 2 games in the regular season to the Brampton Honey Badgers. They'd love to, they're not going to even the score. They've lost some battles. They'd love to win the war. Donovan?
Great job, Joey. And when I think of Teddy Allen, I remember the first text that Mike Rambo got when he got the head job was from Teddy Allen. And so much excitement for him and both of these rookie coaches to be in this spot. What do you make of the fact that they've had success in this league so quickly?
Well, I think both those coaches bring, different strengths to this league and to, the front of their benches. When you think about Mike Rainbow, he has a ton of head coaching experience at the University of Winnipeg, right? More than 10 years there. But also, he's been in this league as an assistant, so there's some familiarity there, just understanding the players in and out. But then you look at Coach Serta, and he brings that G League experience, right, where there's a ton of turnover, players coming in, players coming out, and the ability to balance out your roster, the ability to balance out your systems really quick. When you think about it, Flowers and East have only played 4 games together, but you couldn't tell because both those guys look really good on the floor together. So, for both these coaches, it's going to be interesting, with one game for everything, who comes out on top, but a ton of experience and a ton of, different strengths and attributes that they bring to the table.
I just think, like, with rookie coaches, it doesn't mean that they're inexperienced. And sometimes that's what people think when they hear the term rookie. Sometimes they just come with fresh ideas. Sometimes when you're a player, you want to play with someone who you don't have a crazy history with, who gets to look at you as a brand new player and gets to maybe value you based on the relationship you have with them in that short period of time. And sometimes for a player, especially in a league like the CEBL, you want that. You want that moment where you get to reinvent yourself and put yourself on a different stage, in a different plane, in a different environment.
The cool thing about Serta is first time coaching the league, but he's been a longtime fan of the league and watched before. First time in Canada. He's got an extended run making it to the finals. He's spent some time with Joey Slattery as well.
Thank you, Donovan. Alex, you've played in this building before. You came out with a win. It was on a record 38-point performance, franchise record from Sean East II. How do you carry that momentum and confidence after the 2 victories you've taken this season here?
Yeah, we had some good deposits the past few days with our practices and what goes into winning, and we're just going to apply that today to the game and surrender to the outcomes.
Last time you were here, it was a regular season game. It was your first time here tonight. Expected to have 12,000 people in attendance, possibly more than that. How do you handle the crowd noise and the atmosphere here tonight, which would be quite different from anything you faced this season?
For us, really, we just talk about we have an opportunity to win a championship, but more importantly, we have an opportunity to play for each other one last time. And so we're just looking forward to the competition and ultimately trying to get the chip.
All right, thank you so much. Good luck for today.
Appreciate it.
Donovan.
Great job. After the break, we'll talk about how Winnipeg is represented on the court with some homegrown products that help them host this finals. That's coming up. It's the CEBL on CBC. Finals next.
The CDI.
As you'll see today, Winnipeg has one of the most rabid fan bases in the CEBL, and those fans are supporting local ownership, local front office, and local players. Some of their best players are homegrown, and for them, it means everything to step on that floor and represent the city and the province.
Following a busy offseason that saw the Sea-Bears add a new head coach and 2 former MVPs, one thing has stayed the same: Manitoba's impact on Sea-Bears basketball. Led by hometown talent, fans have a team they can truly connect with.
What does it mean to play in Winnipeg? I mean, you grew up here, you've got your friends, your family here. How does it feel to be back on the floor wearing the teal again?
Feels great to be back. It's always good to be back home and be in Winnipeg. The fact that for the other guys, this is probably one of the most special places you can play. Being a hometown guy and being able to do this in Winnipeg, where I'm from, is just exponentially better. I don't have words to explain how fortunate I am.
Being able to play at a high level, around friends and family, and a lot of other just great people in the Winnipeg community. It's something that's I'm super proud of, I'm super thankful for, and I'm looking forward to doing it again this summer.
We have the great fan base here. We just want to make the fans proud, put on for the city, and it obviously hurts losing games, so this year is really important to win games.
How do you think it's changed when it comes to young players being able to come to these camps and work with professional athletes that, they can see themselves in, and now you've got, a generation of younger, basketball players looking up to you?
I'm happy to see that the CEBL has kind of showed the rest of Canada that, Winnipeg is a strong, and Manitoba as a whole, are a strong basketball community.
Yeah, it means everything. Talking to kids, I go to the YMCA and everyone's just excited because I'm a Sea Bear. They say they want to be a Sea Bear one day, so I know we're making a big impact on the community.
Everybody wants to win a championship. What would it mean to you to win a championship at home?
Yeah, it would mean a lot. Like I said, I'm a super competitive person, so I always want to win. But like you said, especially for the hometown team, it would be a super cool experience. So I'm hoping we can do what it takes to get it done.
Here's a closer look at all of them for context. It's not that they're Canadian or from Manitoba. They're from Winnipeg proper, and they're all real good players. One of the best, Emmanuel Acott, who you won't see today, he had to report to his club team in Europe. He's a big reason why they got this far and had so much success. And listen, everyone wants to do this, right? Every team wants to have nice local Canadians, have a nice story, but Winnipeg is actually doing it. Why have they had so much success?
Well, I think that the difference is, right, in this league, you're only as strong as your Canadian players, right? And for Winnipeg, their Canadian players happen to be local as well. And with those local players, that means they're going to give a little bit more because they're on homegrown soil. They're in front of friends. They're in front of family. So I think that's been the difference maker for them. But if you look at the formula over the last couple of years, right, Victor Razzle winning his championships in Niagara from that region. Then you talk about Scarborough, Chris Exelis, from Scarborough as well, winning a championship for Scarborough Shooting Stars. So there's always that extra juice, that extra push when you're playing for your city, for your hometown. Simple.
Yeah, I love it. And it's the ethos of how and why this league was founded. And the federal government has a slogan in terms of sports funding. It is a pathway, from the playground to the podium. And this is a great example. After they had their big win against Vancouver, I want you to take a look at this video. There's some youth basketball players that were playing in the Langley Event Center, an under-18 group that was the last tournament after high school. They run into Coach Mike Rambo, and he says, you know what? You're from Winnipeg. We're all from Winnipeg. Celebrate with the team.
Just turn up. That's good vibes. Great vibes.
Goosebumps, you love to see it. Shout out to Crossover 204, that rep team. Do they bring a championship to the 204 tonight? We will find out, and we'll see those celebratory vibes. It's the CEBL Finals on CBC.
Canada Life Center in downtown Winnipeg. It is hopping today. Over 10,000 fans for this one-game winner-take-all CEBL championship game. And let's give you the starting lineups for this big one in the River City. And we'll start off with Winnipeg. Moon, McGowans, Osborne, Burns, Hildebrandt. And for Brampton, it's going to be East, Hunter, Flowers, Moncrief, and Eze. And Javon, I mean, at the beginning of this series, I kind of thought that if it's a best 2 out of 3 series, it maybe favors Brampton. They're deep, they've got size. This is one game, winner take all. It's up for grabs here now.
One for all the marbles, right? And you look at both those starting lineups. I think if you're Winnipeg, there's one thing you got to focus on: rebounding the basketball, boxing out, not allowing Brampton to dominate you with their size, but also, some runs. Get out into some runs and get that crowd. You're talking about, 10,000, potentially 12,000, over 12,000 in the arena, right? Got to focus there.
Okay, let's give you the CDIC keys to the game. We start with the home team, the Winnipeg CEBL.
Got to be shot makers in a game like this, right? Talk about the crowd, get the crowd into it. You want it to extend runs, right? Contain Flowers and East. It's, that's a tall task because both those guys are some really good talent, pretty good players. Heart and hustle, right? Energize yourself. And if you're Brampton, don't let that crowd get into it, right? You listen to them right now and everybody's energized. You want to really mitigate that crowd. Lean on your depth. That's pretty simple. You have a deeper bench, go right to it. Guard Mood and Hildebrandt, the 2-man game. Got to figure out how to guard that pick and pop.
So here's Coach Alex Serta, 10 years of experience in the G League, was mentored by Nelson Taroba, who coached in Calgary, and you can see he is dialed in and focused for this one. Mike Rainbow started his career with the University of Winnipeg Westman, his first year as a head coach in the CEBL. He's got a look of concern on his face. So here we go, folks. All the marbles on the line here in the River City. These two teams, they played back on July the 25th. It was a victory for Brampton as they won that contest 88-86. All the stars were out for that one. Sean East with 36 points, Teddy Allen with 29, Xavier Moon with 28 in that game. And we're underway. Here's McGowans to get things started for Winnipeg. They'll get first touch here. Xavier Moon over for Hildebrandt. Up fake, wants to drive and can't. Moon now working here on Tyrese Hunter. He can't ring it up. Flowers has got the rebound.
Big time job early by Winnipeg of just keeping the basketball in front of you, not allowing Brampton's penetration to get into the paint.
That play broke up by Xavier Moon. And we give Xavier Moon a lot of credit for his offense. His defense is pretty rock solid.
Well, this is a guy that's been in these type of situations before. We've seen him win CEBL championships, and it's done on both ends of the floor, right? You don't get that first shot, so you come back and get the basketball back for your team by playing defense.
Wide open look right here for DJ Burns. That is in and out. Bringing it into the front court now, Moncrief. Moncrief lost the handle. Gets it back again. Now they'll set things up. Here's East, trying to break down McGowans. 8 on the shot clock. Hunter rises up, hits a 3 to open up the account.
That is big. Hunter just makes a big-time play there. A tough shot 30 feet out. But again, good defense by Winnipeg, just a better shot.
Tyrese Hunter went back home to the States. He was nursing an ankle injury. Didn't think he was going to come back to Brampton. And then Roddy Peters, he got a 2-game suspension. They gave him a phone call. He came back, and boy, he's been red hot. Got the target time winning bucket against Niagara. Moon on the inbounds, plays it up top. Catch and release here from McGowans. Left that one short. They get the offensive board. They'll get another look. Burns. Moon now, double team comes over. Burns into the corner. Isaiah Osborne, that's in and out. Isaiah Osborne had some shooting struggles down the stretch, got his game back in order. Here's East attacking, laid it in, that came out. The rim's not working for either team right now. Burns gets the return pass from McGowans. Burns just missed that one.
I said it, that was my first key for Winnipeg. You gotta be shot makers today, right? A slow start, but they're still getting really quality, high quality shots.
East with the short J, and he hits it. And if Sean East, if he cooks today, it's going to be very difficult for Winnipeg.
And that's the thing, if you're missing shots, you got to get back in transition and create a wall, because Sean East gets right to the free throw line there, and little push shot makes it look easy.
Averaging 25.5 points in the 2 playoff games so far. Here's Osborne looking for 3 again. That's in and out. East brings it into the front court here. Elbow jumper, and Sean East feeling comfortable here.
Well, here's the thing. He's coming down, and they're in that drop coverage. Winnipeg's in that drop coverage with Hildebrand, right? So off of a missed shot, you're pushing it, getting that high ball screen, and Sean East has the floor to work with because there's not no high pressure or coverage out of that 2-man game.
7-0 lead here for Brampton in the early going. Xavier Moon, mid-range, there you go. The account is open now for Winnipeg.
And I thought Eze did a good job there contesting the shot, the right hand in the face of Xavier Moon. But Xavier Moon just comfortably knocking it down.
Moncrief wants to drive. Offensive foul. And we've seen Simon Hildebrand sacrifice the body many a time.
He's so good. He is so tough. Moving his feet here, and just a smart, savvy play. You know, Moncrief putting the basketball on the floor, Hildebrand just taking it on the chest. And I made a mistake last week saying he's only 24 years old. He's actually 23. He's younger than I thought. Man, he's going to have a heck of a career ahead of him.
And he is the voice of reason on this team. Even though he's so young, when guys get upset with calls, he comes over, smooths things out. Lucas Hofer is going to be his coach in the German Pro A League with Beirut. And he's got a good one on his hands. Here's a short little jumper from DJ Burns.
That's a matchup that Burns can attack, right? If you have Eze on the perimeter, right, you got to get comfortable, get a little jiggy, right? Get loose early. There's one game for all the marbles. Let's get it.
You can feel the excitement in this building. Canada Life Center in downtown Winnipeg. Flowers on the drive.
How tough was that finish? Right, he's penetrating to that left hand and elevates, so athletic, that inside hand, that right hand. Soft kiss off of the glass.
Heard it before. Coach Serta says he's in the top 1% of all basket players on the planet. Moncrief attacking, and it's going to be a blocking foul against Moon. Let's take a look now at Flowers' earlier bucket.
He said top 1%, right? Here we go. Inside hand, nice finish, nice lay. He makes it look so easy. He has Osborne on his backside. Look at this. Left hand dribble, lay.
Young man with a ton of talent. Okay, Spalding is the official ball of the CEBL. And to the line is Matthew Moncrief, product of Orangeville Prep, basketball factory that's produced Jamal Murray, Lou Dort, Bomb Maker, and a whole host of others. A 9-4 lead here for Brampton in the early going. Moncrief 75% from the free throw line. He gets that one to go. 5:51 remaining in the first quarter. Watson Gale, up fake here from Moon. On the perimeter now. A little bit of a mismatch here for Moon in his favor. Hildebrand somehow kept that in play. Trying to find some room. There's 3 Honey Badgers around him, and he can't put it away. This is Roddy Peters. Wants to get aggressive going downhill. Offensive foul against Peters. Take a look at this play here.
They've had a couple of these, transition attacks where, Moncrief has also had one where it picks up that offensive foul. Picked up the foul. But you can tell Brampton's idea right now, or their whole system, whole philosophy is attack, attack, attack. In transition, made or missed basket, get out and then push that basketball up the floor.
Watson Gale had a big game in the semifinals against Saskatoon, and he puts that one in for 2. East. McGowan's right in his grill. They say it went off of McGowan's, and it'll be Honey Badgers ball here. 16 left on the shot clock.
This is a tough matchup for East, right? McCowan's on as a defender, right? He can move his feet. He's physically strong. Great matchup early.
We've got a great one on our hands here, folks. One game for the CEBL championship.
The CDI.
Welcome back to Canada Life Center in downtown Winnipeg. Last time these two teams played, it was a dandy. It was a 2-point ball game, and the two stars, Xavier Moon and Sean East II, came out to play. Sean East set a record with 38 points, a franchise record, while Xavier Moon had 28 points in that one. Now, these are two stars, one up and coming, the other one has a great legendary background in this league, a 3-time CEBL MVP, 2-time CEBL champion in Xavier Moon, and Sean East looking to carve his own path here, looking for his first championship tonight. They're both off to a good start, getting on the scoreboard early, and both will need to play a factor in this for either team if they want to win. Guys.
Thank you very much, Joey. Here's the aforementioned Sean East knocking down a tray. Krause tries to go baseline and can't. Winnipeg down by 7. Watson Gale trying to dance his man. That was Tyson. McGowan's getting on the inside. He gets hacked, and he'll head to the charity stripe.
Yeah, you know, right now Winnipeg's going to have to attack, right? Because Brampton's defense, they're creating a wall on the perimeter, and they've also started the basketball game shooting the basketball poorly, right? 0 for 5 from the three-point line. But if they're there on your toes, right, like McGowan's did there, attack, 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 get downhill, draw a foul or basket at the rim, right? Don't just settle. You know you want to win the points per possession, right, with the 3-ball. But if they're aggressive on that perimeter, right, moving that basketball, swinging it to the weak side, and then attacking before the help can recover, that's the intention that you have to play with.
Okay, Lotto Max now gives you even more chances to win with new prizes of up to $100,000 every drop. Get your Lotto Max ticket now. You must be 18 years of age or older to play. And there you see Isaiah Osborne, played this past season in Poland, 2-time eSport champion with those great Carleton Ravens teams. Juricic, number 33 in the game for the Honey Badgers. Gallants will take a rest here for Winnipeg. 4:20 remaining here in the opening quarter. Good start here for the Honey Badgers. There's Roddy Peters. Oh, little pocket pass on the inside. Ambrose Hilton deposits that one.
They're still attacking this drop coverage that Hildebrand is in. Right now you get a pocket pass and just attacking him.
That play almost broken up. Burns gets it across. Osborne to the 10, lays it in.
That's nice. A couple perimeter shots didn't go down for him early. Well, that next one, attacking the basket, see that ball go through the hoop and build your confidence that way.
East, down the lane, downhill. No, left it short. Watson Gale. He'll bring it back up. They swing it to Osborne. Burns, Osborne. Can't get it back to Burns in the post. Osborne takes it himself, and again, they left it short. Couldn't get the deuce. Flared off to the wing. Trying to get inside was Sean East. Let's show you an earlier bucket by Isaiah Osborne.
Little sauce on the layup. You see him here. Hesitation, gets into the paint. Look at the roll. Nice little English on it.
And just before that,
here, see Peters times the pass, drop coverage, attack.
5-point lead here for the Honey Badgers. Looking for their second CEBL title in franchise history. Burns, he rings it up. DJ Burns, he had to mind his time this season. Jeremiah Tillman was getting most of the time as a big. He's come in and he's played well.
Big time shot, but credit Osborne for keeping that dribble alive so that he can draw his defender for a split second and buy him time on a kick out for the shot.
Sean East can do no wrong here in this opening quarter. Played his final two years of NCAA ball at Missouri.
That's exactly how he started what would have been game one before everybody started to slip and slide in Brampton. Right, 6 points in about a minute in that game and already 7 here today.
Burns. Watson Gale from downtown.
Oh, we got a game, Pete. We got a game.
That gets the crowd alive at Canada Life Center. This Winnipeg crowd, they can make a lot of noise. They definitely get behind their teams in this city. Here's Tyson, dead center three, and it's good. Pass here for Osborne. Osborne can't put it away. Thought he was fouled, no call. Sean East, he's got 9 points so far in this game. He's 4 of 6 from the field. Roddy Peters. And we got a foul away from the play. And here's Tyson getting that offensive board.
With threes, you get those long rebounds. Tyson, right place, right time, staying active and ready for it. And you can see shot ready. Look at him coming off the court right now. Just look at the focus on it.
Yeah.
Right, and gasping for air. That's what you want. If you're Coach Serta, the guys coming off the court, right, you want them to need a breather, right? You need a split second to get back into the game.
And Tyson's played the last 2 seasons with the Portland Trailblazers G League affiliate, Rip City Remix. He'll take a rest here. Here's Flowers. Trying to break down McGowan's. Flowers, that is slick.
I mean, you look at his jump shots, his elevation is unbelievable, right? When you look at where his ankles are at the knees of his defender.
Shooting 47% from the field in the postseason. They try to get it in the post, they're successful. Hildebrandt into the paint for Burns, he'll kick it out. Krause back to Hildebrandt. He gets blocked by Ambrose Hilton, but they're gonna tag him with a foul. Got too aggressive on that one.
Burns is gonna have to be active this game, right? You can see as soon as that basketball goes into Hildebrandt off of that right block, right? There's 2 defenders there. Hildebrandt makes the right pass, and Burns gives that extra play. Now he gets it right back under the basket, draws a foul. But everything is created by his space. And this one, talk about Flowers. Just his elevation, unbelievable. And you got to think, like, when he gets fatigued, does he still have that same type of elevation on his jump shot?
Here's DJ Burns. Keep the Red Bull away from DJ Burns. This guy's got a ton of energy. He's the type of guy, Javon, you want in your locker room. He's a dog in basketball terms.
Yeah, you have guys that are energy givers and energy takers. He's definitely an energy giver, right? And before you even step on the court, right, it's permeating throughout his teammates. And not only is that energy, you know, game ready, but it's also positive energy.
Product of Youngstown State. 22-17 here. 1 minute now remaining in this opening quarter from Winnipeg. Glad you can join us. CEBL championship on the line here this afternoon. Here's Flowers. Gets the handoff from Ambrose Hilton, fade away.
You can't let him get to that mid-range, right? He's so lethal there. If you're Winnipeg, you've got to crowd him. Sometimes he has a tendency to over-dribble and be out of control. Well, that's what you want him to do. But if he gets to his spot and elevate, it's night-night. You're cooked.
Hildebrandt, nice fake, gets the ball back again, converged upon, and he got knocked down hard. And you saw in our pregame show, he was doing an interview with Joey. He had that little cut around the bottom of his eye. He has taken a lot of knocks in these last 2 playoff games. He's going to be okay.
It comes with the territory, right? If you've seen how he torched Vancouver, you know, a couple days ago, pretty much won them that game, won Winnipeg that game with his play, you can understand why as soon as he touches the basketball, there's 3 or 4 black jerseys around him. And here it again, Flowers getting to that spot, just elevating. And it sounds like a broken record, but you know, he gets that last power dribble, right, and gathers left to right into the shot. You're done there, right? Just set up your offense.
This Coach Mike Rainbow, head coach at the University of Winnipeg since 2010. He was an assistant coach when this franchise came to Winnipeg, and now he's got the top seat. Hildebrandt to the line. So an unsportsmanlike foul is called against Brampton.
Hey, you know what? I like how Winnipeg handled that, right? You look at it right here. You're going to see the pull the jersey. A little excessive. But you didn't get a reaction from Winnipeg, right? They were extremely poised, played through, continued. And in fact, everybody came to the help of Hildebrandt. And you can see here, tug of the jersey.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that one's a little much, right? But Winnipeg did not respond. You got to understand that you got to play the course of the game. Again, we're playing one game for all the marbles. Everybody's got to be on the same page, be poised, and then whatever happens after happens after. But you need everybody on the floor.
So Winnipeg takes it on the side here. McGowan's tried to get downhill, and he's fouled there. Winnipeg into the bonus. Okay, follow the CEBL on all social media platforms to stay up to date on the storylines and stats and more for all 10 teams in Canada's Pro Basketball League. Sea Bears trying to get their sea legs underneath them. Down here, 24-18. McGowan's to the line. Early in his career, won a 3x3 gold medal for the United States at the U21 World Championships. His brother Bryce plays in the NBA, played this past season for New Orleans. Honey Badgers up by 4. 18 seconds remaining in this first quarter, 17 on the shot clock. This is Tyrese Hunter. Player that doesn't lack any confidence whatsoever. Screen set by Peters. The floater is no good. Krause, he'll push it ahead. Got to get it off. And Osborne can't put it away. But an entertaining first quarter of basketball.
Entertaining, but also high level, right? When you're playing on high stakes and under bright lights like this, now you're seeing teams slow down. You're seeing them run some actions. You're seeing them, you know, play tough, throwing guys to the floor. It's for everything.
So Brampton in the lead. We'll come back with second quarter action. Welcome back, everybody. Getting ready for second quarter action. Let's show you the stats from the first quarter. And I don't know about you, Javon. That's 71% from the field from Brampton. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, you know, they're being really meticulous with their offense. They're being really poised and finding the matchups on the floor. You look at the other side for Winnipeg, 1 for 7 from 3. That's been, you know, difference maker for them. But Shawnee, he's just really gotten to his spots, right? 9 points, and I don't even feel like he's forced any of the buckets that he's had. If you see, really meticulous here, really surgical. You know, that off foot, that back foot shot right there. But he's looking for, and this was one of his toughest ones, but a lot of times he's getting to that ball screen, and Hildebrandt, you know, and I've mentioned it before, in that drop coverage, but when you have a player with his profile and his speed and can score mid-range, you know, at all 3 levels, you're really at his mercy after he comes off of that ball screen.
4 of 7 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3, 9 points so far in this game. Here's another player that Winnipeg has to shut down, Tyrese Hunter. Inside Eze. And Eze, I don't know how he got that bucket, but the big man out of Montreal gets it.
Thought you were rapping there for me, Pete. I thought you were saying Eze, making it look easy.
Yeah, my rap skills are not very good, so that was by accident.
I thought you were ghostwriting. There you see it, right? And drop off here. In really good hands by Eze here, and then physical, bumping around and knocking bodies and just finding a way to the basket.
Really struggled in the early going of the season, Eze did, with his footwork and his coordination. Got the reps, put the work in, and he's been a big piece for this Brampton team. Flowers can't bring it up from downtown. Watson pulls up and hits it. Jelani Watson-Gale was with this team when they opened up shop in Winnipeg 3 seasons ago. He's back again, and he's been playing some great ball. Loose ball picked up by the CBears. Moon trying to drive. Moon, yes, it's good.
See, and the great equalizer, the 3-point shot, right? When we talk in between quarters, they hadn't shot the basketball well. You get 1-3, you're back in the game. Then you get Xavier Moon, right, attacking and getting downhill. Right, here you see the 3, boom. Right, possession right back down the court. You come up with a turnover, 5-point swing right away.
They're heating up in the River City. Winnipeg coming back.
Welcome back to Winnipeg. I'm standing by here with the president and CEO of the CEBL, Ty Mazaru. Ty, first things first, I mean, we are approaching a record crowd here in numbers. It'll be confirmed next quarter. But to see this type of excitement in a building, I mean, your first year here with the league, running as president and CEO, how do you feel about what you're seeing here today?
It's incredible. It gives me chills. And it speaks for itself. David Asper and the organization should be proud of what they built. These fans are the best fans. Some of the best fans in the CBL, but in professional sports, you can just feel everything about this crowd.
No question, there's been some adversity throughout the season, including an unprecedented moment in Game 1. How did we come to the decision here to make it a winner-take-all game, and what's the biggest benefit in that?
Are we done? We just take it one game at a time, and these moments are made for professional sports, regardless of what happened last game.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time, Ty. Enjoy the rest of the game. We'll see you later for the presentation. Guys.
Thank you very much, Joey. And there you see Hamilton just going right to the tin. And they'll, or excuse me, I'm going to say that maybe a couple of times here, Javon. Beg my pardon. Brampton will go to the line. Moncrief is to the line here. Moncrief, he plays in the G League, Motor City Cruise, Detroit Pistons G League affiliate. Here you see Mike Rainbows telling everybody to settle down a bit. So Brampton up by 2. But Winnipeg, they've really come on here the last little while.
Yeah, I think, the difference maker, the difference between both these teams is you have Brampton that's taking a ton of mid-range shots, and then you have Winnipeg that's coming down, and, their game is more at the three-point line. So if they can win or stay in it with the point per possession battle, they give themselves a chance versus playing against Brampton's depth.
Look at that tenacious defense from Moon. Into the paint, Moncrief. Up fake there by Hunter. Doesn't let it go. Now he does from downtown. Hits back iron. Moon has it, and he's going to push the pace. Watson Gale! And he is feeling it now. The native of London, England.
Those aren't just points on the board, but when you listen to the 10, 11,000, 12,000 fans that are in that arena, it's an energizer.
Winnipeg by 3, they force a turnover. Burns will bring it into the front court now for the Sea Bears. Lanny Watson-Gale plays his club basketball in Bulgaria. Came to the team late in the season as insurance, just in case Moon didn't get his feet, but clearance, and he hits another 3.
Boy. What was my first key? My #1 key for this Winnipeg team is you got to be shot makers. And that's what we're seeing in the second quarter, shot makers. And that's the big difference, for this team that's taking the lead right now. Not only taking the lead, but you hear that momentum. You feel that momentum. You feel the invisible sixth man on the floor right now.
Let's take a look at the last couple of shots here.
Look, this is tough. This is tough. Like off the dribble, escape dribble there, loosen up the defense. A little range on that one. The entire bench, everybody's getting up, everybody's involved, engaged in the game. Big time shots. And you know what? You have Xavier Moon at the helm. You have Xavier Moon, the leader of this team. And at no point when this team was down did they look out of sorts, right? He just looked poised.
Time now for a red tag path to the playoffs update. And there you see it. You had Brampton with the victory over Ottawa, then they beat Niagara, and Winnipeg, a major upset in the West Final against Vancouver. And Jelani Watson-Gale right now, unbelievable. 5 from 5 for the field, 4 of 4 from 3.
Yeah, you learn in these situations, and none of these players are probably going to be in a unique situation like this where you're preparing for a 3-game series, and then game 1 is canceled obviously because of the condensation on the floor, and then now we're playing 1 game for it all. So you learn in that moment so much about yourself. You learn character. You learn how tough you are between the ears mentally, because that flip switches. Right, that switch flips, and you got to go into the mode of survival mode. And when you're in survival mode, what is your default like? Can you still play loose when you hit that default mode? When you're, everything is at stake, right? And I think that's where we're gonna get to see guys, really rise to the occasion and say, hey, you're a heck of a player, right? Guys that aren't necessarily stars, but are gonna be stars in their roles, all laying it on the line for a championship here.
This Brampton team They've already turned the ball over 6 times, and Alex Serta said we cannot turn the basketball over. When they make simple plays, protect the basketball, that's when they're at their best. 33-29 for Winnipeg. 6:32 remaining in the second quarter. Moon shoots over top of Ambrose Hilton. Ambrose Hilton gets the board. Sean East has had a heck of a game so far. Can't put that one away. Tried to float it.
Yeah, they can't get into, you know, one-on-one basketball, isolation basketball. Those last 2 shots, he's just played by himself.
Here's Hildebrandt from the corner. Boom, like that.
Thought makers, and the difference in that offense there, what did he get? 2 passes out to a corner, you know, a left corner shot. There's no rotation. That's the last rotation of the defense, right? So Winnipeg is trusting their offense a bit more.
Hildebrandt, 24 points in that victory against Vancouver in the West Final. Roddy Peters, he's got to get going here for Brampton. That's off the rim. Look at Moon explode, going way downhill. He put that one in another gear. Flowers. Brampton, they've got numbers, or at least they had numbers. Little bank job off the window and in. Moon was like an F1 car.
Man, that gear, I mean, we know he's fast, but the shift in gear and the acceleration.
Missed there by Watson Gale. Here's the talents and the skills of Trenton Flowers.
And, you know, Brampton needed this break by him. Not, you know, not a beautiful shot, not a great shot, but stops that little lead. And here, 2 passes out. That's just really good offense. That's good offense.
So 36-31. Winnipeg got off to a slow start, got things together, and now they've got the lead. Cal Tire is the proud partner and expert of the CEBL. Shop top tire brands and have peace of mind with Cal Tire's match guarantee. Shop and book at caltire.com. I tell you who's got wheels. Xavier Moon. McGowan's twisting and turning. And I don't know, is that too many steps there for McGowan's? It's a travel call on Trey McGowan's. Sean East. Been a key figure so far for Brampton. Going right to the bucket and made it look easy. Sean East, we talked about that big game that he had in July. 36 points. He only had 6 points in the first half, and he just cooked in the third and fourth quarter. Isaiah Osborne. Nice layup by Osborne as he attacked. East. What's he got in his bag of tricks here? Juricic. And Danilo Juricic, that's really not his thing, but he was wide open and he drained it for 3, the Harvard grad. Sea Bears by 2. McGowan's attacking. He gets knocked down. He'll go to the charity strike.
He's been so relentless attacking the basket today. Right, as soon as he gets a bigger defender in front of him, right, he's put that basketball on the floor. He's strong enough to play against anybody, using his broad shoulders. You can see them there, where he's just bouncing the defenders off of him.
Went into this game shooting 57% in the playoffs from the field.
Gowan's already went to the free throw line 4 times today early in his first half, or now he's there his 5th and his 6th.
Let's show the folks how both these teams got here. You had Winnipeg with that victory against the Mamba in Winnipeg. And then they beat Vancouver in an upset, you'd have to say. And then the Honey Badgers with the win over Ottawa. And then defeating on home court the 2-time defending CEBL champions, Niagara. East trying to weave his way to the bucket. That is nice. Little kiss off the glass is good.
He likes operating at his pace, his speed, and you also got to, get him away from that left hand, right? He's using the ball screens, getting to his right, but then cutting right back with that snake dribble to his left hand. Can't allow him to get there.
Hildebrand can't dial it up. Peters saves it. And now Brampton on the attack again. He's trying to dance around DJ Burns. He was looking baseline for Juricic. Couldn't feed him.
A little bit more resistance there, right? Creating a wall as he's trying to get over to that left hand, dancing a little bit, getting into his bag, right, left, boom, 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 and then gets to that left hand. But here you see him, right? Cutting right back, and then just floats it up enough to get it over the big man. Just so crafty. Look at how he gets here. Osborne behind him, Hildebrand coming over, floats it right up, makes it look easy, but you gotta have a ton of touch for that finish.
Goodness, I mean, he did make it look easy. Winnipeg by 1. Osborne gets it into the post here. Burns finds the open man, catch and release from Hildebrand. The rebound and the putback by the DJ, spinning some twos there and getting 2.
And you know what, when you get good shots, guys know what rebounding position they need to be in. Burns gets that basketball into the corner, knows the shot's going up, he can get into rebounding position.
And Burns doing it on defense. Is he putting the knife back in his, the sword back in his?
It might be straps, like putting a baby in a car seat.
Oh, okay.
I'm too big for you, I'm too strong for you.
I thought it was a sword, and he was putting it back in its
and here,
holder.
On the offensive end as well, right? Offensive board, and just knowing a good quality shot, high quality shot is coming. And if, when you're shooting a 3 from the corner, chances are that rebound is going on the other side of the rim, and he positions himself right there to come up with it.
41-38 Sea-Bears. Moon, wide open, Burns puts it on the deck. Can attack. Juricic is trying to defend him. And it's going to be a travel call against DJ Burns. And then Juricic, he won a CEBL title a couple of years back with Scarborough. Here's the turnover.
Well, you look at Brampton, right? Everybody's matched up, everybody's denying. Great job defensively, and Danilo trying to get the officials' attention, like, hey now.
If I can see it, you should be able to see it, I think he's saying. So a timeout call, 2:10 remaining in the second, 41-38 lead here for Winnipeg. Okay, proudly Canadian, authentically Greek, OPA of Greece is proud to be a national partner of the CEBL. Download the OPA app today and start earning delicious rewards. My friend little Nick Kiprios would be happy with that OPA that I gave there, but Winnipeg, they played Brampton twice this season. They lost both those outings. Brampton, they've had their number, but right now, Winnipeg, they're feeling very comfortable.
Yeah, and I think, the interesting thing about this league is none of that matters right now, right? Because you go through so many ebbs and flows, and I remember, when I was managing the Ottawa Blackjacks, you actually have to have 3 different teams, right? One to start the season, one in the middle of the season, and one to end the season. So as great as this story, tells us the matchup between both these teams, the rosters that are on, that are playing today, the personnel that's on the floor today, they just got to be ready. You've got to wipe all that, wipe the board clean, wipe the slate clean, and get out there and get the job done.
Well, Alex Serta said, these 2 teams, they played on July 25th last time. Yeah. They're so different now. And that was, that wasn't that long ago.
Well, even think about it for Brampton, right? I was talking to Jermaine Anderson, general manager of the Brampton Honey Badgers today, and he brought it to my attention that Flowers and Sean East have only played 4 games total, right? This will be their 5th today. And, just for Coach Serta, I mentioned it earlier as well, he's done a good job of just, and that G League style, just getting, the chemistry going as fast as he has.
10 years of experience as an assistant coach in the G League. Here's Hunter, he's been kind of quiet. The putback, Eze, and the foul, he'll go to the line.
And that's been Brampton's calling card all season, right, is getting on the glass, especially the offensive boards. Eze is probably not going to be the most skilled player on the floor, but what he does is this right here. Plays with passion, knows you know, where his bread is buttered, getting on the offensive glass. And, you know, that gives your team an extra possession. That puts another 2 points on the board. And, you know, the thing with offensive boards, they're so deflating because your opponent is stuck looking around like, who missed their assignment?
Eze misses that one. He was awarded the Commissioner's Honor Roll when he was with South Mississippi in the Atlantic 10. Here's Osborne. Closed down in the corner there by Eze. Now, again, a three-point attempt. And Jelani Watson-Gale, he's got it going on, folks.
Well, that three right there ties for the most threes made in a championship game in the CEBL with Phil Scrub and Negus Webster-Tran.
Winnipeg, they force a turnover. 4-point lead here now for the Sea Bears. 1:09 remaining in this second quarter. Watson-Gale, Hillebrand into the corner now for Osborne, trying to go baseline, and it goes off his foot and out of bounds. Jelani Watson-Gale, let's take a look at what he's been able to do here.
Most threes made in the CBL championship, right? Championship game, but he's just been on fire. In Fuego, 5 threes made in this first half, and we still have another half of basketball to go to play.
See if he can keep the hot hand going. 5 of 6 from beyond the arc. He's got 17 points. On the drive, no good. Going down hard was Hunter. Osborne into the hands for Hillebrand. Fakes it, and
that is a tough one.
He gets nailed as he tried to take it to the bucket. Does anybody take more hits than Simon Hillebrand?
And both him and Moon just have to laugh it off. Man, let's just get through this one.
Simon Hillebrand, there you see his numbers during the season.
I think, you know, he's such a different player than the Jeremiah Tillman that they had. And here you get to see a block here. Great job on McConnell, just meeting him at the top of the rim. And then here, just shot fake, and that's your center, right? Shot fake and then get into the rim. And again, 3 shirts as soon as Hillebrand gets into the paint. Right, they had Jeremiah Tillman, who obviously had to report to his team, his professional team for the winter season. But they're so different, right? I think when you have Hillebrand on the floor, you could, you know, have the pick and pop, extend the floor. You could play inside.
Foul against Winnipeg, and Sean East to the line. Nobody likes that call at the Canada Life Center. You just heard somebody say, no way. Oh, I don't know. I'd have to agree, huh?
Well,
what do you think?
I'm going to sit this one back with you. I don't have on a striped shirt, or I don't got a whistle, so I'm going to play like I didn't see anything.
And the first one in and out.
Somewhere Rasheed Wallace was saying, ball don't lie.
And right now, Sean East, he's got 15 points in this game. Make that 16. Winnipeg, can they go 2 for 1 here? We'll see. Watson-Gale gets the return pass from Moon. Hillebrand wants to set a screen. Osborne back up top again. Into the post for Hillebrand, working on Eze. Can't knock it down, and now Brampton, they got numbers. Oh! Great defense, or is it going to be a foul here against McGowan's? I think it is.
I thought that was really good defense. Now, from the look that we had, I thought he made a really good hustle play. And what was my key for them? Heart and hustle, right? The rundown block, chase down block here. See, they push the basketball, great job. But look at him put on the Jets. And that's a play on the basketball. He made a play on the basketball.
McGowan's, he was coming from Portersville Prairie on that play. The fans do not like the call.
I think what also makes it worse, what makes it look worse sometimes, the guys are going airborne. You're going at that speed, and then the wind-up, you know, on the play.
And then he had him in the lasso and then brought him into the photographers. So it's an unsportsmanlike call against Trey McGowan's.
I guess the fans aren't too pleased because it sounds like they're not too pleased.
So McGowan's is going to check out. Flowers misses that attempt from the free throw line. Makes the second. Trey McGowan's with 2 personals against him. So as I said, he'll sit out for a bit. Well, only 7.8 seconds remaining, but they can't afford to have Trey McGowan's get into foul trouble. Here's East. Moncrief working on Krause. Moncrief getting physical. Ball batted out. Hunter, no. So that was a pretty entertaining first half of basketball from Winnipeg. And the fans happy with what they have seen as their Sea Bears have the lead after 2 quarters of play. Brampton got off to a fast start. Sean East, he's been cooking so far in this game. But Winnipeg got things worked out. And now they have a lead. Speaking of Sean East, 16 points so far in this game for Brampton. And then Watson Gale has just been unbelievable coming off the bench. He's got 17 points, 6 of 7 from the field, and he is standing by now. Watson Gale with Joey.
All right, thanks, Peter. Jelani, 17 points here in the first half. You've had some assists to go with that, a rebound. Where are you finding your groove here, particularly from beyond the arc?
Just wanted to play with confidence coming into this game. It's a do-or-die game, so just play with confidently, really.
And despite that, it's still a very tight game, 46-42. What do you have to do in the second quarter to keep this momentum?
Continue to play defense and rebounds. I feel like they're hurting us on the rebounds at the moment, but defense is going to win us this game.
All right, thank you so much. Appreciate the time. Peter, back to you.
Very much, Joey. And Jelani Watson Gale, boy, what a first half he had. Sean East is cooking. Xavier Moon is having a great start to this one. Anything could happen in the second half. We've got our halftime report coming up next.
We told you it was gonna be a good one in Winnipeg, and it was good out the gate. A game of runs, a game of physicality, and a game where the fans have played a factor. They've been engaged in Winnipeg. Come into our home, the CBC studios. Man, okay, I loved so much of what I saw, but you had to love the performance by Jelani Watson-Gale. Someone who had to stay ready, was brought in as Teddy Allen insurance, and now he's playing a big factor.
Well, we talked about the supporting cast in the pregame. We forgot him. I think he was offended. So what he came out in that first half and did was really impressive. Obviously, he's got 17 points. He's leading them in scoring, but 5 for 6 from the three-point line. Did you know he was going to shoot 83% from the three this afternoon? I don't think so. That's a little bit of a step back from the three-point line. You know, and then here it's like, oh, you dropped your hand, I'm going to take this one right on top of you. That's a lot of confidence you can see him playing with. Just the lift on the offhand side, and he's able to find that cross-court pass to Gale. Again, just so much productivity to be able to step into a big moment like this, a little bit of extra pressure. You got one for a win here, one and done in a game, and he's stepping up in the absence of Allen.
Confidence is the word he used in his interview with Joey Slattery. I just love the accent. Everything he said sounded confident with that accent. Sounded like a character on Top Boy. Speaking of which, the Top Boys for Brampton is who we thought it was going to be. East and Flowers. They decided we're going to go into your trap and take over your trap, and they were good right out the gate.
Yeah, I think when the best players on your team are the best players on the floor, they really give you a chance to win. And both those guys that came out and done what they were supposed to do, what we expected of them. You know, East with 16 points in that first half. And I think what he's done well is that he's just played surgical, right? He's reading the defense. Here you see the drop coverage with Hildebrandt, and now he has all the space in the world to score, to get to the mid-range, to get to the free throw line. Then Flowers, he's just so impressive, right? We talked about his elevation during the broadcast. He just does what he wants because he can just get there and elevate above the defense. Another one of those shots, right? One dribble, power dribble, and then just elevates. But both those guys, they have an inside-outside attack. They can score at all three levels. And I think Winnipeg has to do a better job of just crowding them, right? You don't want Flowers to have the basketball and, you know, survey the floor, get to wherever he wants to. You also don't want Shawnees to get to that left hand because he's really comfortable there. So you got to crowd those guys, especially in transition, right? Stopping them above the break so they can't just get downhill as easy as they want to and as easy as we've seen in that first half.
We talk about getting downhill. People are getting down on the floor. It was a physical one. Winnipeg fans are used to the Jets and the Blue Bombers. We got a lot of that action by the Sea Bears. I mean, it's a championship game, but Tamika, you gotta love the intensity and the physicality.
Well, you have to. That's how you want to play in big games and big times. That was a little bit of a horse collar, if you ask me. Yeah, that was too much for me. I'm getting up swinging if somebody hits me like that. No offense. But in these moments, that's what you want. You want to come out and you want to play physical. You want to play strong. The refs are calling things, so it's not like we're just letting these go. But in a big game like this, you're gonna have a lot of intensity. Everything is on the line, and this is one or done.
You're getting up and swinging because you have anger management. But, right, we're playing for a championship. It's one game for all the marbles, right? This is what you live for. All these guys have dreamt about being in championship games, right? Winning is hard, right? A championship game and this, you know, one game for everything doesn't come easy. It doesn't happen all the time. A lot of these guys may go the rest of their careers and may not even see another championship, sniff a playoff. So if it's going to take a hard foul, if it's going to take, you know, pulling you down by your collar, so be it. We're playing for something right now. But you have anger management.
No comment.
Yeah.
What I love, though, about you talk about those dreams, a lot of these guys were dreaming of a Wilson Cup before a CBL championship. These are U Sports alumni playing in this game. University of Manitoba well represented. I love that they get this platform and that there are great Canadians right here in Canada.
What I think is the most impressive is that it's Manitoba. You know, when we talk about Canadian basketball talent, so often it's Ontario. And then it slowly started to move to Quebec, and you're getting all this talent from across the country. But to have some talent in Winnipeg and seeing it on display, seeing kids grow up and get to play against that.
Well, I think just even having Canadian talent on the floor, and it's kind of embarrassing when you hear the rumors of them potentially changing the rules with the Canadian players in this league. When you look at, you know, who's producing on the floor today and who's produced over the season, you're only as strong as your Canadian players in this league. So, you know, and it's great for the development of the game in our country. So I love seeing it. I wish, you know, when you and I played, we had something like this, but it's exceptional.
Were you good enough, though? Okay, all right, well, fair enough.
Google me.
I'll chat GPT you. After the break, we'll see more great Canadian talent putting on a show from Winnipeg. The Pan Pacific Swimming Championships are taking place this week in Irvine, California. 42 Canadians are repping the red and white. 4 days of world-class competition. For more, let's go to Devin Haru and Brittany McLean Campbell.
Donovan, last one, fast one. Admittedly, from Summer McIntosh, it has not been a great meet. It has for Taylor Ruck. So, Brittany, what did these two women have to do to finish strong here in California?
Well, for Taylor, it's absolutely just keep doing what she's doing because something is working. She's going pretty much a best time every time she swims. Records have been broken. That momentum in sport is so important, and she's feeling good in the water, so keep that one up. For Summer, it's almost the opposite. It hasn't been feeling great in the water for her this week, so you kind of have to get out of your head and into that stroke. Race. She knows how to race better than anyone in the world. She's a world record holder. Tonight, she takes on the 200 IM, an event that is so much fun for everyone that gets a chance to swim it. Some of the best in the world are here. Go and attack it.
And how about this, Donovan? It's Summer McIntosh's last swim as a teen. Oh, to be young again. We'll have the finals on CBC Gem at 10 p.m. Eastern.
Thanks, Devin and Brittany. Great fits, do a great job on the ready room. To catch the final night of competition, you can head over to CBC Gem. Action starts at 10 p.m. Eastern. We've got all of the coverage on this program tomorrow as well. And at halftime, we got a great show for you, TJ Pepper. Let's take a listen as we go to break. Second half action after this.
The CDI.
Why am I getting the feeling that you guys have seen this before?
Because we have.
Welcome back to Winnipeg. I'm standing by with Brampton head coach Alex Serta. Alex, back and forth game here. Winnipeg has the edge, but it seems the runs are going both ways. What do you need to do to slow Winnipeg down, but also keep your runs going?
Stay composed,
like you said, basketball is a game of runs, so we just take it one possession at a time, do the things that go into winning, and ultimately the results will end up in our favor.
Obviously, Xavier Moon is always a factor you got to look at here in a game, but Jelani Watson-Gale off to 17 points. How do you slow down his shooting?
Just got to be more fundamental on the defensive end, be there on the catch, hand above the ball, force them to play inside the three-point line, make them play in crowds, and then ultimately when the shot goes up, that's when the game starts. Secure the defensive rebound so we can go the other way.
All right, thank you so much. Best of luck in the second half. Peter, back to you.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. Getting ready for third quarter action, and right now you've got this Brampton team. They've turned the ball over 8 times, and Winnipeg, they've got 13 points off those turnovers. And Brampton, they got to protect the ball just a little bit better here in the second half, Javon.
Yeah, possessions matter, right? And for Brampton, when they when they have the basketball, have possession of the basketball, they are doing a good job getting shots, but sometimes they're getting a little out of control, and you know, you're giving Winnipeg more momentum, more opportunities. And what happens when you give them more momentum, is what you saw in the second quarter, where shots start to drop for them, right? So for Brampton, you got to be really meticulous in operating and running your offense, but also securing the basketball.
Underway here, third quarter action. Hunter, Eze, hand off to Flowers, tried to curl and drive. And right there, getting to that ball is Moncrief, and he'll hammer it down. Moncrief, 10 rebounds per game so far in the playoffs. Moon. Burns, he had a strong first half. Backdoor cut. Osborne couldn't get the bunny.
I mean, he missed that one, but he can't beat up himself, right? You got to get back into the play defensively.
Look at Flowers, high class, but he can't finish. He's fouled. He'll go to the line.
And Moncrief starting the second half, just rocking the rim, just getting himself in position, right? When you know where shots are coming from, okay, shot goes up, coming from that weak side and just taking the rim with him. Like I was saying before, like, you know, Flowers is going to get 2 free throws here, but Isaiah Osborne, he missed the bunny around the basket, right? He missed an easy layup. That happens, right? It's got to be next play mentality. You got to get back into the, into the frame and defend, because now you're leaving your team out to dry, right? And I think you have Flowers at the free throw line because you were unable to match up, because Osborne was shrugging his shoulders on one end of the floor, right? It's one basket, it's one play. Get back and make up for it.
Moncrief getting that rebound like a young Javon Shepherd would.
Ooh, I don't know about that. I don't know about that, Pete. I didn't do the dirty work. that was my problem.
Here's Osborne. He'll skip it across. Moon rising up, and the Moon is a-rising on that three-point play. The native of Goldwater, Alabama, getting it done for the CEBL.
That is that's the scary part for Brampton. It's been pretty quiet for Xavier Moon.
Moncrief now. Spins on DJ Burns, thought he was fouled, no call. And now a call, no. Who's this going against?
Yeah, that's going to be on over the back of Moncrief, right? He just climbed the shoulders of Hildebrand there. You see a little out of control with this one, right? Misses it. Probably a little frustration. Sorry, it was Eze who came over the back of Hildebrand.
49-45 Winnipeg. Burns trying to set a screen there, and Flowers. Osborne muscles his way to the bucket, and he gets knocked down by Big Eze.
And a much better attack, right? As soon as he comes off of the screen here and cuts back, I like how he uses his angle, right, in that left foot to cut off the defender. Here you see him, right, cutting back, doesn't allow the defender to get over his shoulders to contest and challenge the shot, and draws the foul, right? This is an aggressive play. This is a shift in mentality from that last possession, right? You said you made up your mind that I'm going to get a foul or a basket, and much better results here.
And just been told CEBL record for attendance, 12,519. And as I mentioned before, the people of Winnipeg, they come out to support their teams, and they're doing it here this afternoon. 51-45, little up-court pressure now from the Sea Bears. Sean East. Gets it down low, Eze with the flush. And Eze, he's into it now, number 20. And Moon, he draws the foul, and he's gonna shoot 3.
The space he creates, right, is so impressive, and that's how he gets to those shots there, just that burst, that change of gear, right, and it's just him in the basket. Here's the Eze rolling to the basket hard, right? He gets behind Hildebrand. Big time roll, and no help defense there, and even if the help comes over, which was Osborne, there's nothing you can do. Absolutely nothing you can do. But, you know, he's going to go, Xavier Moon's going to go to the free throw line for 3 shots here. And I said it before, right? Just, you got to crowd him, right? You can't allow him to use that dribble and use that change of speed, because he creates so much for himself. And then you're playing catch up. Then you're trying to, you know, chase behind him like you've seen on that 3 there, and he's drawing a foul. Easier said than done, and I'm saying it from this seat right here.
Okay, let's visit the keys to the game, brought to you by CDIC. And here are the keys for the Sea Bears.
Right, got to be shot makers, all right? And we've seen that with Moon and Watson Gale, 26 points between them.
So 53-47 for Winnipeg. This is Moncrief now. He's got to contend with DJ Burns. Screen comes over. That was Hunter. The alley, they can't get the oop. Get a second look here. Flowers, he's wide open. No, back iron. And Xavier Moon, he's got it. He'll push it. Moon trying to turn the corner. Baseline jumper.
Oh,
yes.
Oh, boy.
X marks the spot on that play, baby.
And he's getting going. Anytime you see him, when he slaps that hip 3 times, we've seen that before. That's go time.
Let's take a look at this play by Moon.
It is just speed. Like, he's turning the corner on 2 defenders and then avoids Eze, that 3rd defender just stepping away. Difficult shot, but I feel like we've seen Moon make that shot so many times in this league.
Play broken up by Osborne. And the flush. And everybody on their feet at Canada Life Center in the River City.
Well, we were talking about the keys just a while ago, right? Shot makers and, you know, containing Flowers and East, but my last one was heart and hustle. And right now, you're seeing a lot of the heart, you're seeing a lot of hustle out of Winnipeg.
Sea Bears up by 10. Active hands there by Moon.
And Osborne, that last possession, just making up for it. I had a couple sloppy plays early, but this one, you know, shooting that gap, and now here you go. Bingo! Above the rim.
You know, Coach Rainbow, he said everybody focuses in on his offense, but he is a fantastic defender, Isaiah Osborne. And he showed it on that play, and now you've got Jelani Watson-Gale. He's got a lower body issue here.
He looks like hopefully he'll be all right. He looks like he'll be all right. And, you know, you're talking about defense, and a lot of times when people hear defense, they think rah, rah, rah. They think that, there you see Watson-Gale getting another look at it and just, you know, trying to fight over the top of the defense. It looks like he just bumped knees there, just a little bruise. But when you think defense, you're always thinking one-on-one coverage. You're always thinking, you know, being a stopper. But when you think about Osborne as a defender, it's positionally, like always in the right place, team defense, system defense. And those type of defenders are just as important as the on-ball stoppers.
Calgary native Brandon Moontu out there, number 7. Here's Roddy Peters. Peters has been quiet in this game. And he gets it and takes it right to the bucket there. 57-49 for the Sea Bears. Osborne can't get the roll. East rises up. He missed it, and East, did he get knocked down? I think he did. He's going to go to the line and shoot 3. Hildebrand is saying no way. Take a look at this here.
Trying to see if he got under his landing space there.
Looked like it was DJ Burns.
Probably had that foot there.
Okay, let's show you the CIDC keys for Brampton as we revisit those.
The first one to me, don't let the crowd get into the game, right? You have a CBL record in that arena right now, and you know, you can't let them energize their team, right? Lean on your depth, and I think they've had a number of players, right, step up in this game and guard the two-man game with Hybernot and Moon, right? You've got to understand, like, those two guys are the focal point of this offense. And whether it's a pick and pop, whether it's, you know, they're switching defenses and trying to get the big fella the basketball in the post, right? You can't allow them anything easy.
Sean East has been carrying this Brampton team in this game. Here's Hildebrandt. And an easy kiss off the glass right there. Nice move by Peters. Over for Moncrief. Look out down below. Matthew Moncrief with a jam right there for Brampton.
I thought, did he go over Hildebrandt there?
I think he did. He was meaning business on that play in the post. Hildebrandt.
This is the matchup you want. Oh,
nice move.
Nice.
Good footwork by Hildebrandt and one.
Hildebrandt there, so poised, man. Great footwork, great patience. Right, East trying to get on that top side, forcing him to the baseline and trying to have him switch that pivot foot, but he just did a really good job of keeping that basketball alive, right? Patience, sweep, spin, good footwork, gather yourself, two, left hand, finish. And here you get Moncrief. Oh, it was over him. It was.
Great plays at both ends of the court. 62-54. 5:13 remaining here in this third quarter. Peters. Pass over here for East. Trying to break down Watson Gale. He's back into the game. Puts it up. And that's an offensive foul.
That is big-time defense. That is big-time defense by Watson Gale. Even before the shot, forcing East to that right hand. That's where he's a little bit uncomfortable, right? Keeping him to that right side and pops him with that little chicken wing in the jaw there. But that's when you hear coaches talk about doing your work early, right? And that's what you got from Watson Gale, just sitting on that left hand, all right? We will live with something. You live with something, but we're gonna live with that right hand.
Right now, Winnipeg, they've got the lead here in the third quarter, stepping away, coming back to the River City on the other side.
Welcome back to Winnipeg. The Seabears are up 8 on the Brampton Honey Badgers. A big reason for that is Simon Hildebrand. He's got 11 points and 5 rebounds in this game, and this is a very special moment for Hildebrand, who was born and raised in Winnipeg and played 2 of his college years at the University of Manitoba. When he went off to the NCAA, playing 1 year at High Point, another year at Washington State, he said the biggest thing he learned down south was how to be more physical. He was always a great shooter, but the physicality is something he had to work on. This year, he's been a bit of a chameleon with roles switching, throughout the year based on what they needed. Tonight, he's giving just what they need. That physicality down low as they're a little small and getting some scoring. Guys.
Thank you very much, Joey, and he's been relying on that physicality here this afternoon.
Yeah, I think Hildebrand, when you watch him play, to me, he should be a guy that, is on the Canadian national team radar, especially for those, winter windows, the qualifying windows. Because, again, you're talking about size. You're talking about a guy that can, stretch the floor, shoot it from 3, does it all, 23 years old. So I would be looking at him to, even if not tomorrow, but investing in his development, right? And, somebody that could potentially help you in those windows.
Well, he's going to play in the second tier of German pro basketball with Beirut. And I'm thinking that's a league that gets a lot of exposure from scouts. There's other teams, top teams in Europe that'll be looking at him with the way he's playing.
Yeah, I'm looking at his trajectory and, how he projects and so forth. And he kind of reminds me, complete different games, but he reminds me of a Thomas Kennedy that we seen play in the same league, a couple years ago, where, virtually unknown on the international scene, but a really good player. Very different, but a really good player. Now, the investment, the time, and being in environments that foster his innate talent, and now, he's one of the better bigs across Europe, and he's helped our national team, play on and qualify and so forth. So I see the same type of runway and journey for Hildebrand.
And they're going to wave that bucket off for Flowers. And there you see Alex Serta trying to get an explanation on that call. 66-54, yeah, and Thomas Kennedy, what a season he had in Europe. Here's the guy's having a great game. Xavier Moon from way downtown. He was in Thompson when he hit that.
Well, you know what? X has been here before, right? He looks so comfortable. But I'll tell you what's hurting the Brampton Honey Badgers right now is taking care of the basketball, right? 10 turnovers to Winnipeg's 4.
Hildebrand for Osborne. Osborne wants to get downhill. And a foul. Let's see, who's it going against? I think it's a Winnipeg foul. Okay, stand corrected, no foul. As Osborne got shook up a little bit. 3:49 remaining here in the third quarter. Xavier Moon now 18 points, 7 of 11 from the field, 2 of 2 from 3. And to go along with it, he's got 4 rebounds and 3 dimes. Moncrief. And they're going to whistle this down. And a tee coming. Who's the tee against? Is it McGowan's? I think McGowan's thought that there should have been a call there on the moving screen, or at least it looked like a moving screen. And Coach Rainbow unhappy. Still don't know what the call is here. Let's take a look at this one, Javon.
I think what McGowan's was looking for there was the moving screen.
So we understand it's McGowan's getting called. Okay, so fake a foul warning, I guess, against McGowan's.
What he was trying to sell was the little extra oomph on the screen there. Strange little play because Brampton has Moncrief handling the basketball, and you have the smaller guard coming up to set that inverted screen.
So Hunter will inbound the ball here. 3:38 remaining in the third. Scotty Peters turned it over. McGowan's right down Main Street and left it short.
ran out of the Jets there.
Yeah.
And I was waiting for a highlight. I had my cards out. Was I gonna give you a 10, an 8, 6, something?
They battled for the ball on the ground here, as that was Ambrose Hilton that went to the deck. So Winnipeg will take over here. Let's show you the McGowan's play in just a second. 69-58. Xavier Moon, he's been red hot here in this third quarter. Up fake from Hildebrandt. Wants to go downhill. Off the glass, can't convert.
It's not legal.
Peters, he tried to kick it out, gave it away. That ball's all over the place. McGowan secures it. And now Winnipeg, they got numbers. Watson from the corner. And Watson Gale, that was in and out. Moncrief, Peters, and he misses it. Peters has had a rough time here this afternoon in Winnipeg.
If you're Winnipeg right now, you got to be thinking target time, right? Target score time, because this is a lead that you can extend going into the fourth, right? That's got to be at the forefront of your mind, like Xavier moved there, getting into his bag. I think it's a Dior, it might be a Gucci, it might be whatever it is, a little tween downhill, left-hand finish.
It's an expensive bag, that's what you're saying. 71-54 as Winnipeg widening this lead here in the CEBL final. Hunter can't knock it down, Moon with the rebound. And he'll just slow it down a tad here. Watson Gale, step back, no. Floated ahead, Tyson trying to get that ball. And that was Moon that broke up that play. Let's show you Moon's last bucket.
Showed you a bit of everything. Well, cross, come back here, snatch him, to the moon we go, here we go.
My goodness, he's had these honey badgers on skates here in this third quarter. Sean East trying to get something going here for Brampton. East, no good, left it short. Floated ahead, Watson Gale. Watson Gale now with 17 points in this game. Here's Moon. Moon, he got it stripped away from him by East. Hunter, good look here. Tyrese Hunter, splash. Here's Moon, picked up by East. Watson Gale swings it. Hildebrandt, no, just missed a three. Mason Krause, he couldn't quite get the rebound.
See it now, Brampton, they've switched their coverage, right? That first half, it was a lot more switching and didn't allow Hildebrandt to pop. Right now, they're, hard hedging on the basketball a bit, on the ball handler, and that big Moncrief or Ambrose Hilton rotating back out, right? So they're gambling on, okay, we'll give up the shot, we'll sacrifice the shot to stop the penetration, right? So in the first half, I said Burns was gonna be, big for Winnipeg, but now it's Hildebrandt's turn because of the shift in defense.
Okay, Lotto Max now gives you even more chances to win with new prizes of $100,000 every drop. Get your Lotto Max ticket now. You must be 18 years of age plus to play. Sea Bears up by a count of 71-58. Both teams now are in the bonus. 47.1 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. Moon working on Moncrief. He'll throw it back up top. Trey McGowan's directing traffic now. Oh, nice move on East, and he gets the finish.
I can feel everybody's confidence growing. Right, all these players in this next man up mentality, all these players right now that would would have been, you know, when you had a combination of Allen and Xavier Moon on the floor and, you know, Tillman, all these players that were a part of the roster, the auxiliary pieces, they're stepping up and playing some big minutes under the lights.
Time winding down here in this third quarter. Sean East gets the much-needed bucket right there for Brampton. And let's see, are we done with this quarter? So they're going to put some time back on the clock here. 2.3 seconds. And the officials will make sure they're all on the same page here. So enough time here to get this ball, Javon, in the hands of Xavier Moon and for him to do something magical. They get it to McGowens. McGowens puts it up. Did he get it off in time? Just missed it. And boy, what a third quarter here for Winnipeg, huh?
Wow, they dialed it up. They dialed it all the way up. But guess what? You got another quarter and you got pocket time. Still got a lot of hoop to play.
Yes, more hoop to play. Winnipeg coming out strong in the third quarter. We'll find out what happens coming up in the fourth. Here are the stats brought to you by Lotto Max after 3 quarters of play.
There's the issue right there, right? Points over turnovers. If you're Brampton, man, that number right there sticks out. 15 turnovers, and you know they've been able to just capitalize on them. And obviously, the man of the moment, the man of the hour, Xavier Moon, right? The second half, that third quarter that he's had, right? He's just come alive, right? Running by 2 defenders, 3 defenders, triple teams, double teams, surveying the floor. His speed, right? He's come back a better player, right? And before he played off the speed and he was always hunting to score the basketball, but now he's playing the course of the game, the full game, right? And getting his teammates involved and, you know, just understanding the moment, the possessions, right? Just such a tremendous talent. And you can see, right, he was poised that entire first half. And then you get to the third quarter, and he dials it up.
Yes.
Turns it all the way, turns the heat all the way up.
Let's send it over to Joey Slattery now.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I was just behind the time or the quarter break for the Brampton Honey Badgers. Alex Serta says, hey, guys, nothing to worry about here. We're only down 13. We have to get bodies on those rebounds, and we have to score on these possessions. It is one possession at a time, and there wasn't a lot of dejection on that bench. They seem very focused here to start the fourth, and that too helps from Trenton Flowers, guys.
Thank you very much, Joey. Here's Moon with the layup. Moon, he's going to play for Maxima Roma in Serie A this upcoming season. Matteo Catelli is the head coach. If he's watching this game, I think he's very impressed. Flowers gets it across. Ambrose Hilton. Can't connect there. 75-62. Hildebrand, catch and release! And Simon Hildebrand.
Uh-oh. You can feel the life leaving Brampton. And you can feel Winnipeg's battery charging as this game goes on.
So a timeout called by Brampton. And they've got to figure out some things here. Down 78-62. Let's show you the Cal Tire Cruise of the game, and that was from Simon Hildebrand with the 3.
And look at where this basketball lands. In the shooting pocket, doesn't bring it down. That's your big man, catches it right at his ear, his right ear, and hops right up into that shot. I know that might be a little too technical and too mechanical for TV, but wow, like the mechanics on that shot, extremely impressive. Like you teach, you know, at grade school, you teach at CAMs to catch the basketball and keep it above, right? Not bringing it down, and to see your center, see the big man catch the basketball where he did in that shooting pocket and get it up into a shot. I'm going off track. I apologize.
No, you're fine, man. You're fine.
I'm a believer. I'm a fan of this kid. I'm a big fan.
Here are the nominees for awards, and there you see Teddy Allen. Unfortunately can't play. He's up against Miles Powell. Canadian Players of the Year, Frank the Tank Mitchell. What a season he's had. Tyrese Samuel, and then Defensive Player of the Year. It's between Fudge and Killen Tynes, who had a great season in Scarborough, the Halifax native. Let's send it back now down to Joey.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, much different this time around in that timeout. Alex Serta fired up, telling his team they simply need to play harder, they need to play stronger, and they need to stop watching the ball and looking at the refs for calls. They have to dig deep. Time is winding down, and he's starting to feel the urgency here. Guys.
Thank you very much, Joey. Yeah, they have to get on a roll here. This game is not over yet. And, you know, here's the thing, Japan. If you watch U Sports basketball, if you're up by 15, 14, game's done at this point.
Right.
These are the pros.
Just getting started.
This lead could be erased just like that.
It's just getting started, right? And you think about the 3-ball and, you know, forcing turnovers. It's just a couple possessions. And then also just having momentum, right? You have 2-3 possessions where you get stops and consecutive baskets, and that changes things.
Here's Moon. That's in and out. Flowers will bring it over the timeline here. Flowers. Gets it here for Hunter. Little up fake on the drive. Just exploded down the lane. And Tyrese Hunter, he's been quiet in this game. Peters has been quiet. Tyrese Hunter has been quiet for Brampton.
You can see Winnipeg right now, right? You're well aware. You're 4 minutes away from target time. They're using the clock, right? And wow,
McGowan's
using the clock, and they're using that three-point line as well.
He was in St. Boniface and knocked that down. 81-64 for the CEBL. They're starting to feel it here at the Canada Life Center. Into the corner. Juricic, little bounce pass on the inside. They can't connect. McGowan's has it. Moon, he'll take his time here. 7:20 remaining here in the fourth. Getting closer to target time score. McGowan's attacking. No foul. Flowers. Great move on the inside, but he can't get the bucket. He'll go to the line. That's going to be a call against Xavier Moon. Flowers, he's got 12 points in this game on 5 of 9 from the field. And he makes the first one. Just 21 years of age. 8 games of NBA experience with the Clippers and the Bulls. Started playing pro basketball when he was just 18 years of age, moved to Australia, and played in the Australian NBL. Now, if you're Alex Serta, what do you got to pull out of the hat here.
Well, I think, for one, Brampton has to get away from all the isolation basketball, the one-on-one basketball, right? It's really, been their Achilles heel, right? And it's really, hurt them and led to a lot of these, 16 turnovers, right? And, credit Winnipeg for, their defensive tenacity. Here you see Watson Gale picking up, right at the half-court line. But they've been a little bit more focused and intentional in knowing their scouting report.
East.
It was also something, we spoke about in the pregame, where you look at both coaches, and both have done an exceptional job, but Mike Rainbow, having a number of years of head coaching experience, you've seen it on display in this game. You've seen, right, in terms of his team's execution, in terms of his team's readiness, right, and not solely relying on talent. Now, still a ton of basketball to play, but you're going to need a little bit more from Coach Sutter and Brampton.
That doesn't go for East. Xavier Moon now 2 personal fouls in this game. Moon up top. Being eyeballed there by Cam Tyson. Shot clock down to 5. Watson Gale. He's been living from beyond the arc in this game. Floats one up. Can't get it to get the offensive rebound, and a fresh 14. There you see Moon just saying, settle down here. Approaching target time score. Dead center 3, Hildebrand. No good. And he gets knocked down, and Simon Hildebrand is going to shoot 3. Foul going against Eze. Let's take a look at the foul here.
This was the change in defense that I mentioned before, right? You get this pick and pop, and now Eze has to stop the Moon penetration and find his way back out to the three-point line, right? And it's tough, and I know that was a concern for Brampton coming into this game, and I thought in the first half, when they had switched, Hildebrand didn't have as much of an impact on the game, but it allowed other players to find, the matchups they wanted when they, went to the switch matchups.
3 personals now on Eze. Getting closer to target time score. 82-66 for the Winnipeg CEBLs. Been in the CEBL for 3 seasons. Mike Rainbow, when he heard that Winnipeg was going to get an expansion team, he said, that's great, be able to take my daughter to some games. And next thing you know, he's on the coaching staff, and now he's the head coach. And that gentleman behind him with the glasses, that is Alex Campbell, and Mike Rainbow can't say enough good things about Alex Campbell, who played in this league, has helped them secure players. Alex has great knowledge of players around the league. There you see Alex, and no scouts, and he has aspirations on being a head coach.
And he will be. He will be. And that's the thing, when you have players that transition into that coaching realm, they come with a lot of relatability, right? Because I can speak to you on everything you're going through because I've been there. I've walked that same path, right? So, for Coach Mike Rainbow, definitely a big asset to have on your bench because he was just here, right? He was just doing it. Like, if I'm chewing you out, it's because I know your potential, right? And I know the impact you can have because I've been in that same situation.
Here's Moon on the drive, yes! Xavier Moon putting on a show in Winnipeg. 85-68 now. And play whistle down. Let's show you Xavier Moon's last bucket. Again, that first step, devastating.
It's that first step and the slow to quick. The slow to quick. And you're so worried about it that you don't know how to defend. You don't want to foul. And then, boom, he turns the corner and he's gone. And now he's talking to your bench.
Talking a little trash. East. Gonna work on Hildebrand here. Tyson, way downtown, missed it. DJ Burns, he gets the rebound, does a little shimmy. Moon, 24 points in this game. He's got 7 boards and 5 dimes. Already an MVP of 2 CEBL finals that he won while playing for Edmonton. Unsportsmanlike foul there on Moon. And now Sean East will go to the line. Coach Rainbow getting an explanation. He's being told. As they continue to chat on the Winnipeg sideline there.
You're looking at Moon's numbers. You mentioned him. Numbers in this game. 24 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, just 2 turnovers in 34 minutes of action. Now, we still have some hoop to play, but if he were to win another championship, if he were to win another, finals MVP, just give that man some shares in the league and call it a night. Night.
Well, we've talked about it before. The MVP award, the trophy is an X.
X.
I mean, you cannot get a higher compliment than that to have an award named after you. And here he is. He's still active, playing. Here's East dancing there on Hildebrand, and Hildebrand with some great defense.
And again, right, you're still too much isolation basketball. Way too much isolation basketball against a set defense in Winnipeg, and they have size inside, right? And Hildebrand, he's waiting for the challenge. He's waiting for, the matchup inside. So, Coach Serta right now, and again, right, first year in this league, just understanding like what it takes.
So getting ready for target time score. An 85-70 lead here for Winnipeg. And look at Hildebrand. He's got a cut along the neck. He had a little cut underneath that left eye. Boy, he's been getting beat up quite a bit, but he keeps showing up, the Winnipeg native. So we've got a review here. Over 12,000 fans on hand. Canada Life Center, a record for the CEBL. And that young man there, he's got a bright future, I think.
You might have a crystal ball.
And let's see what transpired here. I don't know if Hildebrand got a piece of that. Simon Hildebrand. This past season, he had, again, another one of these players, had a secondary role. And as the season went on, he got more playing time, got more confident in his game. And boy, he has really stepped up in these playoffs. In that game against Vancouver, he was just a monster.
Yeah, he really came into his own then. And, right, probably surprised himself and was like, oh, wait, no, I can do this.
Play,
like,
yeah.
I can really do this. But you know what, credit this the coaching staff, credit the front office for Winnipeg, because, you're looking at players on the floor right now, but they're still missing a ton of talent. You're missing, Emmanuel Aycock, Teddy Allen, Jeremiah Tillman, who also, he won a championship in this league with the Hamilton, who were the Hamilton Honey Badgers at the time. And there's been no drop-off. You look at these guys on the floor today, and you look at them in the Western Conference Finals against Vancouver, 0 drop-off.
And like I told you, when we did that Western Conference Final, off air, I told you, I don't like Winnipeg's chances. I mean, no Aycock, no Tillman, no Allen. I mean, I didn't think that they could possibly beat Vancouver without those bodies.
I think everybody thought that. Walk came into the game, and you look at both rosters and you say, wow, Winnipeg, they're missing a lot, right? I think that was the notion, that was the thought process, the narrative. And they came out and got the job done.
And the thing that really impressed me about that game against Vancouver, you know, Winnipeg, smaller team than Vancouver, they had 42 points in the paint in that game compared to 26 for Vancouver. That shocked me.
Yeah, and I thought, you know what, that game was... Oh, here we got the answer here. Calls been reversed, and it's going Brampton's way. You know, I thought there was so much strange things that happened in that game against Vancouver. Even just seeing the coaching change, you know, at the front of the bench there. And I thought Rance Brampton did a great job all season. He was 3-0 against, you know, Winnipeg, and then that last minute change. But I thought Winnipeg handled that as well, just maintaining their focus.
And off the inbounds, Brampton, they get the flush. 85-72 here for Winnipeg. Moon. Hildebrandt. Cam Tyson trying to defend him, shoots over top of him, and knocks it down at the death of the shot clock. Simon Hildebrandt can do no wrong. .348, and the score is 88-72. Simon Hildebrandt, the Winnipeg native, coming up with a big shot right there. And so then we'll get some free throws here, and then they'll go to target. As East knocks down the first one, but the tide has definitely changed in this game. Winnipeg got off to a slow start, and then in the third quarter, the Sea Bears came alive. Simon Hildebrandt, the Winnipeg native, knocking down the shot. Back with target time score.
The CDI.
The former LA Clipper, Xavier Moon, he knows what it takes to win here in 2020. Helped Edmonton to the championship against Fraser Valley as he hoists the trophy. And then in Edmonton, they hosted the championship and they just torched up Niagara. And Xavier Moon, the MVP of both of those finals.
It's become automatic.
Yes.
So what I'm looking for, I want to see his celebration at the end of this one, because he's done this a couple times now.
And there you see the two-headed monster. Simon Hildebrandt with 21 and Xavier Moon with 24. There's the owner of the Winnipeg team, Mr. Asper. And I think he's pretty pleased with what he's seen. And he's done such a great job, he and his staff, putting this team together.
I wonder what's more fun for him right now. The fact that he's won, you know, for his city, or the fact that you're playing against your little brother's team and you're beating up on your little brother? Which one do you celebrate more?
There you see the target time score, 97 points. Here's Moon. Over here, Watson Gale just missed it. And you know, Javon, we've talked about it before. You know, you do not want to play hero ball here. You don't want to play isolation basketball. Take what you can get, right? And stepping out of bounds is East. And it's going to be Winnipeg ball.
That's just another turnover for the Brampton Honey Badgers, right? And that's where it's been, right? You go back to this game after, if they don't come out with a win, you go back and you evaluate this one. It's going to be, you're going to look no further than that number right there, 17 turnovers. Right, I think, you know, both these teams, the luxury that they do have is you have two closers. You have two late clock guys in East and Xavier Moon. So when you get to target time like you are now, you should be able to make some really good decisions.
Osborne from the corner. Can't connect. Moncrief with the rebound for Brampton. Floated ahead. And Osborne, or excuse me, Ambrose Hilton couldn't haul that ball in. Okay, let's send it over to Joey as he was in the Winnipeg huddle.
Yeah, and it's still business as usual, guys. Mike Rainbow saying, hey, there's no celebrating. We got to keep up this pace, get those rebounds, get down in transition, and get some layups. And when it comes to the intensity, he says you got to keep it up. Don't celebrate until it's over. Moon got up and said the same thing. Get that possession, run down, let's end this thing, guys.
Back in the basket and just really getting his body in there. Good job, just getting to that spot as usual there, and that hip, right? Keeping the defense on your hip.
Right.
You allow them to not just challenge a shot, but foul you on the way.
18 points in this game for Flowers. Missed that one. They get the ball back again. Ambrose Hilton with the layup.
You're Winnipeg, you can't get too loosey-goosey right now.
It's a 10-point lead. McGowan's loses the handle on the ball, and it's going to be Brampton ball here.
One team, Brampton, down 10. They're playing out of desperation right now. Right, that's a different type of basketball. So, again, Winnipeg, you have to clean it up, you know, in target time.
Sean East trying to dance around Hildebrandt. High glass, no good. Ambrose Hilton with a rebound. The putback, no. And now Watson Gale has it. He'll bring it into the front court. East just dogging him around the court on defense. Osborne. Isaiah Osborne lays that one in.
Now what happens is, right, you're so concerned with Hildebrandt's ability to shoot the basketball, stretching the floor. You're hugging up on him. You're trying to push him up on the floor and get the guard under the screen, and Osborne just turns the corner. Great read. But all that is, you know, Hildebrandt creating that. Just his influence, his impact on the game.
Nice block by Hildebrandt. Moon wants to drive, lost it.
Here you get another look at Osborne's last bucket here. Coming off the screen, right, defense hugged up, and he just finds a way to the basket. Crafty left-handed finish. But it all starts at the top of the key there, reading and processing the floor as the defense is trying to develop.
Look at that number, 18 turnovers for Brampton. Winnipeg 7 points away from winning their first CEBL title. Here's East, converged upon. Moncrief, his pass initially was no good. Moncrief finds East. The fake, shot clock down to 1-0. Shot clock violation.
This just swarming defense. You know, I mentioned Brampton playing from a sense of urgency, a place of desperation. But that's what Winnipeg showed you here on this possession right here. Just everywhere, forcing the shot clock violation. And Winnipeg, when leading entering target time, 13-2. Brampton, when trailing entering target time, 1-11.
We'll see if that holds up here. Watson Gale, what a game the young man from London had. Miss. Burns can't get the putback. And then Burns and Ambrose Hilton battle for it. It'll be Brampton ball. (90-78). Sean East. Head of the snake for this Brampton team. There's a shot by Flowers, gets it to go. Sean East with 25 points in this game. Trying to get his Brampton team back into this one. From the corner, Watson Gale, no. 10-point lead here.
I'll say this, Brampton has life. There is life. Right now, Winnipeg, it's like they're trying to hold water. Right, they want it so bad, but really tough to get there right now.
Flowers can't ring it up on the jumper. Moon gets a switch. Gonna work on Moncrief here. Watson Gale back to Moon. Shot clock down to 4. Moon wants to drive, attacking, puts it up and in. 7 points away.
You realize that shot clock got to 4 seconds. It got to 3, it got to 2. And everybody else, you and I included, are panicking. And Moon just, as cool as a fan, the moment just slows down for him.
I'll redo my arithmetic. Winnipeg 5 away. Here's Moon again, shoots over top of East. Moon hits a 3. Boom, like that. What a performance from Xavier Moon, especially here in this second half. Let's see the back-to-back buckets by Moon.
You know, I wish I had something for you, but I just got chills. I just got chills watching him play. Look at this. Boom, 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 boom. Boom.
Yeah. I mean, the handle is so good. The first step is explosive. I mean, there's almost no flaws in this game, and he can play decent defense, too.
What can Moon do for you?
Yeah.
Right, I said it before, right? We are underappreciating, you know, Xavier Moon in this league. You know, we've seen him win 2 championships before, and he did it a different way. Right, he was much younger then. It was all about his speed.
And there you see the all-time clutch players, the most target score playoff winners. Ahmad with his 6th, and Xavier Moon, will he get his 4th here this afternoon? Italy, get ready. He's coming to you this fall. Gonna play in Serie A. Maxima Roma. And there you see the numbers. I mean, 29 points. Got off to a slow start, but he's taken over this contest. And now Winnipeg just 2 points away from winning the title. Flowers inside for Ambrose Hilton.
I'm going to take a stab in the dark and say this basketball it's going to end in Moon's hands. If I were a betting man.
You were a betting man? He's got the ball in his hands right now. Xavier Moon against Ambrose Hilton. Baseline jumper, no. 95-82. Brampton trying to stay alive. Here's East. On the drive, gets the bounce. CBears are going to try it again. Everybody on their feet at Canada Life Center. Anticipating a CEBL title. Hildebrand from downtown. Hey! Like that.
Hey! Hey!
Well, folks, break out the seal meat and the champagne because it's definitely a CBear summer as they win their first CEBL title. Wow, what a performance for the Winnipeg CBears. It means a lot. Look at this band here. Very emotional. David Asper with a championship. And this Winnipeg organization, they did such a great job. They've only been in this league, Javon, for 3 years, and you know, comes to building a team, I mean, that's a short period of time to have this type of success.
Yes, super short. And you look at, yes, they've won a championship now, but they've built such an amazing culture, right? You look at some 12,000 fans that are packing that arena, right? That's the best atmosphere in the CEBL league, right? Right now, you know, you walk into that arena, that's the gold standard, right? And for them to bring those fans, you know, that city a championship, right? It means so much. It means so much, and I say it all the time. Winning is hard, right? Sometimes we underestimate, you know, what goes into winning, right? The blood, the tears, you know, the fights, all of it, right? The practices, right? To get to this point and to be able to hoist a trophy as champion. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen often, right? And unless your name is Xavier Moon, yeah. Most guys don't even get back into a final situation, you know, to have a chance at it. So, you know, tremendous opportunity for these guys, and you know, they got to the top of the mountain and they took care of business. You look at this arena right now, right? We're talking about a CEBL record, you know, in there, and they deserve this moment just as much as those players do.
So the third CEBL chip for Xavier Moon. And boy, like you said, what a great crowd in Winnipeg to watch this championship game. So the Booster Juice player of the game is, let me take a guess here, Xavier Moon. He's standing by with Joey.
Thanks, Peter. Xavier, it's your third straight championship. Little break in between. 29 points today, most importantly, your third CEBL championship. What does this moment mean to you to do it here in front of 12,500 fans in a city and a team that didn't exist last time you were in the league?
Man, it means everything to me, man. Like I said before, I'm grateful for the opportunity, and I'm proud of my teammates. I'm proud of these guys, man. We stuck together through all the adversity, and this is what we play for, man. Championships. This is what we play for, man. I'm proud of this team. I'm happy for this city, man, and we turn it up all day.
Hey, you
together right here. Let's go. 110.
All right, together on 3. 1, 2, 3. Together.
Put the win in Winnipeg, baby.
All right, there's a celebration here, guys. I'm going to throw it back to you here. This is an exciting group who's letting it all go here as they are the new 2026 CEBL champions led by Xavier Moon, our player of the year.
Wow, what a performance from Xavier Moon as they win their first CEBL title in franchise history. We'll step away. We'll come back with a trophy presentation. Simon Hillebrand ends it for the Sea Bears.
The Sea Bears put the win in Winnipeg, and now they're planning the parade route down Portage in Maine. Their first title delivered by that man, Xavier Moon. He is the story for me to start with, because as we break down what was an incredible performance, was there maybe a wardrobe malfunction, a costume change that made him step up into those big shoes?
Sometimes you just don't like what's on your feet, and when you change them, your game also changes, because in that first half, he only had 6 points, and he came out with a different pair of shoes in the second and put 23 down in that second half. Like, what more can you say about Xavier Moon and his performance today? He had 29 for the game, 3 of 4 from the three-point line. You saw one right there, doing it in a variety of ways. He pulls up here. Again, another pull-up. His game was on display. Now, this is a player who last week said if he won a championship here, this would probably be the one that meant the most to him. He never thought that he would be back in the CEBL. So to see him on this big night when it was one or done, put up one of the biggest performances of his CEBL career, this shot right here had to feel good. This is the type of emotion you're seeing out of Xavier Moon and out of the Sea Bears.
Yeah, I think it's pretty impressive that he's come back and won himself another championship. This team looked really fresh. Yeah. It didn't look like the travel that they had to go through over the last 2 weeks impacted them at all, but maybe it was a change of shoes. Maybe it was just superstar aura and, you know, the winning pedigree that he has. But, I mean, I thought he played well, but you seen the last two games, even without Teddy Allen, without Tillman, right, this team collectively, they stepped up a notch, and they were I would want to say, you know, an arm length away or better than, Brampton. So I just thought their talent was on display, but also the MVP talent type talent that they have.
Well, he's got some nice shoes. He's also about to get a trophy. Let's take a look.
Trophy presentation as we send it back to Canada Life Centre in the Peg.
Welcome everyone to the 2026 CEBL Championship Trophy presentation, soon to be awarded to the first time CEBL champion Winnipeg CEBERS. At this time, I will introduce the president and CEO of the CEBL, Ty Mazaru.
Thanks, Joey. Before we hand out the hardware, I want to give a round of applause to the Brampton Honey Badgers on a hard-fought battle. You made the city of Brampton proud. And before we bring out our Champions Trophy, we want to hand out the game ball to three-time MVP Finals, Xavier Moon.
All right. Xavier Moon. There was a time this season where you weren't sure if you would even get to play. You get the 5 games in to qualify for the playoffs, make the playoffs, see the adversity losing 3 starters just before it starts. You win a game against Saskatoon at home when a lot of people counted you out, a game in Vancouver when a lot of people counted you out, and then you finish the job here in front of 12,500 people for your 3rd CEBL championship. How do you feel in this moment?
Man, it's hard to put it into words. Coming off an injury last year, man, being able to come back to the CEBL where it all started, man, it feels great, and it feels great to do it in front of such an amazing crowd, amazing city, man. I love y'all, man. We appreciate the support all year, and hopefully we can come back and do it again next year.
All right, I'm going to call head coach Mike Rainbow over here because we got a trophy to present.
First and foremost, a big shout out to the man that brought basketball to Winnipeg, David Asper. Thank you to the fans. We packed the house tonight, a record-breaking attendance. You should be proud of what CEBERS Nation has done. And now, for the first time in CEBL history, and to present to Coach Rainbow, your 2026 CEBL champions, the Winnipeg CEBERS.
Hey, this the east side.
Here, Coach. First off, congratulations. This year, you took on double duty as the head coach of the University of Winnipeg, and then you came on here this summer to build a team that you thought you can win a championship with. You've gone through the adversity throughout the season, stayed the course, and now you're a CEBL champion. How does it feel?
It feels amazing. There's so many people that went into making this happen, though, so I'm so honored and grateful that we had a chance to play in front of this amazing crowd today, and I'm so proud of the team, the way they fought through all the adversity that we had. Great job.
Congratulations. Go enjoy this one. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2026 CEBL champions, the Winnipeg CEBERS.
Oh man, the vibes. Didn't have the radio edit on the track, but we are celebrating nonetheless.
The vibes were high. The vibes were high.
Oh man, CEBERS Nation is getting into it. And if you're scoring at home, Xavier Moon wearing Kyrie Force. So the fact that he has a shoe from 2017 lets you know that he has a plug. Yesterday's price is not today's price. He's talking about running back a championship. He's going to cost more because that's 3 championships he's delivered. But yesterday's not today's price for Simon Hildebrand as well, as he really grew throughout the year in this game.
Yeah, I think he definitely grew throughout the year, and I thought it was pretty interesting, right? Earlier in the year, they had Jeremiah Tillman, who played, a bulk of those minutes, so he didn't have the same role, right? Now you get into playoffs, and he gets to express himself a bit more. He gets a, accelerated role where he just gets to do a bit of everything, right? And I thought his confidence grew against, Vancouver in the West Finals, and just seeing him 23 years old, and this shot right here, I was so impressed with it. Got into his shooting pocket, didn't bring the basketball down, and then the pivot work, right? And I mentioned it during the broadcast as well. I think he's a guy, if you're the Canadian national team, you're looking at him for the qualifying windows, right? Because with his size and his skill, his ability at 23 years old, right? We're seeing something special. We're seeing somebody that, is gonna grow into a really good pro. And I'm excited for him. I'm proud of him. I think, now that you have a championship under your belt as well, it's like, hey, you've been there, right? You've played under the bright lights, you've played under the rest, and you've been able to perform. So, those moments are invaluable, and you can't manufacture those. So for a guy at his age to be a champion, it doesn't matter at what level, be a champion, produce, and show toughness mentally, where you've had to play different roles, different positions for your team and for your team's success, and deliver. It's huge.
And I think we should acknowledge, for all of us watching those scenes, we feel for and think of Teddy Allen, who wanted to be in that moment, who really committed to the city and the organization. They all stepped up, and so they're going to celebrate later, I'm sure, with their brother. But it also shows you how difficult what they just did is. Yes. No Teddy Allen, no Tillman, no Acott, no problem. They were not the most talented team, but in the third quarter, they showed they're the most connected team.
Absolutely. They came out from half, and you can tell that they went in there. They set a new game plan for the second half. They were going to find a way to stretch out a lead here. And again, Xavier Moon came out and had 14 points in the first 5 minutes of the third quarter. And that was a big part. Obviously, when your star is a little colder to start the game, you want to really show up from halftime and get a big spark out of them. But they did it at both ends of the floor. You're going to see a steal here by Osborne and the score in transition. They just played together. In every aspect of the game, the Sea Bears really relied on each other. No one played with an ego. When you watch this team, they're all very smart individuals, very capable, but they play so well with each other. And one person didn't have to be the star. They wanted to give up a good shot for a great shot.
I think the connectivity matters, right? You mentioned it as well, right? The chemistry that this team showed, on the back end of the season with whatever they went through, that's why they won, right? And not necessarily based on talent. I also thought, they had the invisible six man, I like to call, in their favor. They had 12,519 fans in the arena, a CEBL record. But everybody deserved this, right? You talk about head coach Mike Rainbow, right? The first time as a head coach in this league, right? He has a ton of experience at the University of Winnipeg, did a good job putting the team together, and then, the fans themselves. So all around, great win for them, great for the CEBL. This is a new team that has won a championship, and I believe there's only 2 now without championships. But, I think more importantly, when you look at the growth of the league, it just continues to go like this. So you hope that continues to happen, and you continue to make progress and continue to bring Canadian talent, continue to bring a ton more talent, because you're getting some really high-level basketball. And what you saw in this game here in particular, I think these two teams can compete anywhere professionally, across Europe. All these guys are going to go to their winter seasons and play for their respective winter teams. But this was high-level basketball.
Yeah, it was a high-level moment. And, when you look at those fans, you mentioned it, the record crowd that they have, eclipsing what Calgary did a couple years ago during the Stampede. This has to be the blueprint in terms of local ownership in the community, local coach, and local players really balling out, and those fans lifting the team.
Well, this is exactly what you're looking for when you're trying to build these franchises across the country. You need local talent, you need local prospects. I think what the most important thing is you've got players on these teams that came up through the local systems. You've got kids that are watching people that they've seen or they've had coaches in their camps actually play at the professional level. It's that whole thing, you can't be it until you see it. And I think in a lot of places in our country, like in Manitoba, they don't necessarily get to see it as often. You have to come into an Ontario back in the day to get it done. Yeah. And I think that's what's huge about the Sea Bears.
I think, with to your point, when you have the local talent, they care just a bit more.
Yeah.
And then you look at the 12,000 fans that were there. I think about the impact it has on the next generation, being able to see it, being able to feel it, right? Those are, the pros of tomorrow.
So many pros from the 8th season of the CEBL. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. They gave us a lot to talk about this year, certainly, but they gave us some great basketball. The Pan Pacific Swimming Championships are tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern, day 4 of the finals. Will the summer of summer continue? We shall see. CBC Gem is where you can get that action.
And I